All right, how is it going, everybody? We're back with Curse of Strahd session 4. We've been on a little, I think, 3-week hiatus now. So we're actually going to kick it off over to Dragar, the mighty barbarian dwarf, to give us a little recap of what happened last session, and then we'll kick it off. Go ahead, Dragar.
Dragar says hello. Last session, we found ourselves back in a room surrounded by shades as Reader had pulled a globed orb off of a statue. Leading us out of that room, we made it into actually, we got our butts kicked in that room, and we heard a soft pounding off in the distance that we didn't really understand. And from that soft pounding came just in the nick of time to help Reader save our whole group, came a beautiful satyr druid, or no, sorry, yeah, druid?
Paladin.
Paladin, sorry, named Gaia, and she came in and saved the day. We made it through almost the rest of the basement of the haunted house, or horrible house, quite well. Just a few issues, followed a couple of deep tunnels, and we found ourselves stuck at a gate that was leading into a room where we could hear the chanting droning out of. At that point, Dragar got quite frustrated, but Val, being a wonderful sneaky rogue that he is, found a side entrance to the room, and once we got into the room, we saw spirits line up on the walls, chanting, and then from a small outcropping in the wall, we saw this wonderful giant swamp almost beast who was made up of earth and fibers and grass and mud, and he basically charged at us as all of us tried to figure a way out of the room or to get the chanting to stop as they were chanting "One must die, one must die." In the end, we were all, I believe, surprised as Reader basically stood on the altar and drank a vial of alchemist fire. And as this went down into himself, he basically charged the beast and dove into its belly, writhing and trying to get deeper into the beast's belly as the beast was releasing Alton and Gaia from its grasp. And he basically was able to defeat this beast and suffer his life instead, giving the one must die completion. At this point, we were able to take the leftover remains of our companion Reader, and we were able to leave the house finally out of the dungeons, go up into the city, and without really looking around, we headed straight to the graveyard where we spoke to a man about a gravesite for Reader, and we buried our true friend. And as we sit around the gravesite now, we just kind of basically finished speaking our words of atonement for our friend, and I believe that's where we left off.
Perfect. That sounds about right. So yeah, a few hours have maybe passed now as you kind of take in your surroundings. You're sitting on top of this kind of grassy meadow. You look around the city, just completely enveloped by this wall of mist. You look around, and from horizon point to point, you cannot really see what's in the actual horizon besides this white wall. You sit on this hill and kind of enjoy the air. It's been who knows how many days since you were stuck in that house now, and everyone is reflecting on Reader's sacrifice in their own way. And you're about 50 feet away from the church that you entered and spoke to a man, kind of chubby man with this hoarse voice that looks like he's been, for whatever reason, has lost his voice, and he told you that it's completely fine to bury your friend. And that's where you guys start.
At this point, Drager would just be sitting down and he'd be kind of fumbling with something in his hands and just looking sorrowful, waiting for somebody in the group to make a move, I guess.
Oh, dearest Jagger, I know that you miss your friend, but you know that he would want you to live on. He would want you to be with us and be with me as we continue our journey to the end of time itself.
Dragar very sad the Reader is gone, but starting to understand. He would just sit there, fumbling with something in his hands for a couple of minutes, I guess.
What are you fumbling with? What is that?
At this point, Drager would stand up and he would look at the group and he would address the group and he would look down at the ground and he would kind of close his eyes and all of a sudden he would kind of rage, but it would be this very calm rage, and like all of his tattoos would be kind of glowing red, and he would hold out the toe, the big toe of Reader, his dead friend, and he had kind of carved a little bit with the edge of his axe while he was sitting on the grassy knoll. And at this point, he just looks up to the group and he's like, we need to get out of here. We need to figure out what's going on. Dragar says we need to leave. We need to find whatever is keeping us here. And he just, without flinching, he jabs the bone of the big toe into his chest, through his beard, and it just kind of embeds itself into his chest, and he doesn't even notice. And all of a sudden, all of the tattoos on Dragar brightly grow yellow, like this bright yellow, and he looks up, and all of a sudden his eyes are bright yellow, and he's like, "We need to fight as one." Dragar says, "We need to fight as one. We need to kill anything in our way," and his totem now is the totem of the wolf, where all of his friends, when Dragar is in a rage, basically get advantage on melee attacks to any creature within 5 feet of Dragar. So he's just imbued with the spirit of the wolf now, and he's made his 3rd level ascension into his barbarian rights.
Very nice.
He's ready to go.
And as you actually finish that speech, Dragar, the group kind of falls silent, looking at you. Your tattoos glowing yellow, and then suddenly, piercing the silence, you hear the howling of a wolf in the horizon that just echoes across this field.
I swear, if I have to fight another wolf, I will have to fight more wolves than I've ever wanted to fight in my entire life.
Dragar says we must go. Figure out where we are.
Yes, perhaps one of these palefaces can help us figure out something about this strange world.
Absolutely. And where are we thinking about going, guys? You have the map of Barovia City in front of you, right?
Yep.
So the blue and black square is basically where you guys have buried Reader and where you currently stand. The church, obviously, right to your right. What are we thinking about doing?
Perhaps we could visit an establishment and get to know a bit about this location.
I think at this point, Dragar would be very willing to just walk down the street. Obviously he's calmed down now, but he wouldn't be afraid of much. He would just want to go to like the town center and see a bunch of people.
All right.
Yes. Let us go.
All right. So as you kind of are walking through the streets, this city is silent. You look to all these old-looking houses, just kind of Victorian-era-looking houses, taller than they are wide. They actually kind of just like reach up into the sky, almost like they're towering above you, shading you guys. As you walk through the streets, all the windows and doors of pretty much every single house are boarded up entirely. You'll start to wonder and question if anyone even lives in this city. You've obviously spoken to the church, the priest, but as you're walking, you kind of enter the center of this town, that like big opening, and a single shaft of light thrusts out into the street, breaking through this shrouding mist. Above this doorway, a sign hangs askew. It looks like it's kind of fallen off one of its railings and it's barely hanging on there. It's proclaiming to be Blood on the Vines Tavern. You guys can all give me a perception check.
A perception check. The most fantastic of 10s.
Not too bad, I guess.
All right, and then Mary rolled a 5. Is that right?
Indeed, Gaia is much too fascinated with her fingers today.
Absolutely. So no one really hears it except you, Dragar. A very faint, coming from the south, a moaning, almost like a cry. As you look, though, you don't really see anything. Um, just no one in the streets. It's really misty at this point still, or really foggy. But definitely from the south, you hear a cry of what sounds like maybe a woman.
Is it audible at all?
Only to you, as you look to your friends, everyone else seems to be kind of almost entranced by this light breaking through that big building that's marked on the map. I'll ping it right now. That says Blood on the Vines Tavern. Everyone else seems to be entranced by the light kind of pulsing from there. But you hear off in the distance the moaning or cry of what seems like a woman.
I think at this point, Dragar would look over his shoulder at the faint on the wind kind of cry, and look at his group, and I think he would just ignore it at this point. And he would, after the host and everything else, and the reader and everything else, he would kind of push it off as maybe that's just what this world's all about, and he would just try to stay with his group.
All right. And if you guys were to head into the only kind of source of light, this inn, as you were walking in, you would notice that the sign, Blood on the Vines, the N is actually kind of carved in and actually crossed out as a letter F. It used to read Blood of the Vines, but for some reason now someone has scraped out that F and turned it into Blood on the Vines. As you walk in, it's a relatively empty establishment. You see immediately to your left 3 women in very flamboyant dresses of different statures. One that's a little kind of stubby and short, one that's more of an average size and build, and then a really tall, lanky girl, all with dark brown hair, and they all are just enjoying a drink. You also notice at the bar is a kind of receding hairline man, or a man with a receding hairline, sorry, and he is just busy cleaning glasses. You notice that he goes from one seemingly clean glass and he's polishing it up with a drag. He puts it down after it's adequately shined and then moves on to the next. And then in the corner, about 30 feet away from you guys, you see a long-haired, dusty, blonde-haired man just kind of drinking in the corner. The light not really shining on his face, but you can make out that it is definitely a human male. As you walk in, no one really addresses you. The women look up to you for a second, and then they just put their heads back down and go to murmuring to each other.
Oh, fair denizens of this fair establishment. I must ask, what brings you here on this fabulous occasion?
The women would look up to you, and they would kind of chuckle. And then they study you all. The one says, "My name is Maribel."
Oh, what a beautiful name for a beautiful darling.
She doesn't seem to buy into that, actually. She is not so much blushing as she is, "We are owners here. Speak to Arik if you want a drink. Do not cause any trouble, though."
Of course, no trouble will come
I
with
would
us.
never dare to cause any trouble to your fair establishment, no.
You notice that the kind of stubby or short one is actually just like, although this one that you're talking to, the lanky one, is not really buying into your stuff. The shorter one is definitely kind of like blushing and giggling, and she leans into the third woman and kind of whispers something.
Perception check.
I must ask, your establishment is rather bare. Perhaps you could tell me why it is like so. Is there but a famine outside? Is it not entertaining here? Is there a problem about your town?
She looks at you and says, "Honey, you must not be from around here, are you?"
No, that is why I would ask you, you see. If I was, I would not ask you because it would be obvious to me.
There's not too many people left in the city of Barovia, and those that are left would rather hide in the safety of their houses or the illusion of safety in their houses.
What happened to them? They don't usually just vanish for no reason.
Most die, she says, kind of nonchalantly.
Well, from my experience with being alive, that you don't just normally die for no
Yes.
reason.
There's many reasons that you die in this world.
Illness.
Perhaps you could explain why it is so commonplace in your particular town.
Say again, sweetie?
Perhaps you could explain why it is so common to die in this particular town.
Well, it is very dangerous town. Very many things that go bump in the night, you see.
Perhaps you
Ah,
could tell me about them. You see
I,
over here, this goat? She is a paladin. She is a professional killer of undead creatures.
anything evil will be laid to waste.
yes, I'm quite sure that you all are impressive. We have drinks to attend to, though.
We are very impressive. Perhaps we can save your town and you could treat us like the heroes we truly are.
With that, all three of them burst out laughing. Save our town. You, you clearly are a strange bunch. Please do not bother us anymore.
He speaks the truth, so. I have been sent here by Pelor, and so
How much are the
obviously.
drinks?
As soon as you say that, Val, the barkeep, this man with a receding hairline, he pipes up. Glass of wine, 1 copper. Pitcher of wine, 1 silver. Just monotone and like almost no life to him. You look over and he's just cleaning glasses again.
So Val would raise one of the gold rings we got from the house, and he would say, "Would this work well enough for a pitcher?"
Foolish child, do you not know what money is? That is worth many, many, many pictures.
And Val would look over at Alton and say, "Alton, shut up."
Children, they like to trade the gold for fear.
Perhaps he's being generous, for all you know.
Generosity. It is a very interesting subject amongst the drow.
As you offer the ring to Eric, this barkeep, he looks at you and he says, "Glass of wine, 1 copper. Pitcher of wine, 1 silver."
It sounds like a zombie. It's very
And he
unusual.
does very much sound like a zombie, actually.
At those words, Gaia's going to look more keenly. Is it a zombie?
You can give a perception if you like.
You are a paladin. Can't you divinely check?
You can definitely also do that.
Duh.
And if
So,
you, what's that? Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna wait until she was done.
Yeah, so if you use, what is it called, Divine Sense or whatever,
Yes.
Yep.
he very much is alive, not undead. But for some reason, you get this strange emptiness from him, something that you've never felt from a human being before or any living creature. You sense him, and it's almost like there's nothing there. It's just a husk of a body, but not undead in any way.
So Val would look around the room to see if there would be anyone willing to trade gold for a ring.
Maribel would step up and say, look at the ring really quickly and say, Eric, this is fine. Give the man a pitcher. And then she pours you a pitcher of red wine, and he kind of just leaves it there on the table for you to grab.
And then Val would push that over to Dragar and say, "Dragar, I think you need this." And then he would just like sit down and wait to see what everyone else is doing, while also trying to look at all the weapons that are in this place.
Drager would definitely grab the glass and just kind of look at Val and kind of just put the glass to his lips and start drinking heavily.
Just chugging it.
I know what must be done here. Something is amiss in this particular establishment. But I know how to dispel this magic here. He would look over to the zombie man, who is not the zombie. His eyes would narrow and he would smile a bit and he would say, "Why are frogs so happy? It is because they eat whatever bugs them."
That's how he responds.
He doesn't.
Silence.
He does.
Absolute silence.
Sir, if you cannot laugh at such a joke, you are truly dead inside, and I mourn for the loss of your life.
Yeah, as you like talk to him, he basically, you would notice that after a while of cleaning glasses, he would presumably clean all of the glasses that he has in the bar, and as soon as he finishes that, he goes to the very start again and starts polishing them.
If I didn't know any better, I would say that he's compelled by magic to do stuff. But that
As you guys are discussing this, you hear from the corner, "No magic involved here."
Is he just a simple fool?
Not quite either. And as you look, the man that was sitting in the corner, he kind of pushes the chair up and goes and walks up to you guys. This long, kind of sandy blonde hair and a very pronounced jawline. Younger-looking man in his 20s. He comes up to you with a smile, and he snaps his finger in front of the man's face and says, "It's not that he's a fool. It's that he has no soul."
Oh, well, that is interesting.
And he kind of nervously looks back at the women and says, "How about you four come and sit at my table? I will buy the next round."
Oh, you must have many silver pieces.
Dragar, at the hearing that this guy might have an idea of what might be happening around here, is, definitely eager to engage in a conversation.
He says, come sit down, we will talk." And as he shows you guys to the table and sits down, he would say, "My name is Ishmark, and I am the son of the burgomaster of this city. Who are you? You clearly are not from around here. I've never seen you in this city before."
I'm Val.
Dragar says you don't need to know my name. Wait, shit.
Oh, Dragar, you are simply adorable.
And he looks to you, Gaia, and kind of curiously studies you and says, "What is your name, my dear?"
I'm Gaia Avlarine, Fellows Champion.
And you, the one with the no buttoned shirt exposing your chest, what is
Oh, I
your name?
know. I know that you wish for my name and my address, but I can only give you my name right now. It is Alton. You may call me Alton, or the most beautiful creature you've ever seen. I am okay with either.
He cocks an eyebrow at you and says, "I think I will stick to just Alton."
Oh,
And
many
it's
people love
serious.
to stick with Alton. I understand.
He's just like serious for a moment. Then he kind of chuckles to himself and says, "Clearly you are a strange bunch. I have not seen your type. You clearly are not a human. None of you. Where are you from? You must have been pulled to this land, no?"
Yeah, I had just fled the Underdark because the matriarchy suggested that I marry into the family of a cow, and I disagreed. But apparently the gods see fit for me to come to your cursed land.
And
Dragar wonders where we are.
you are in the land of Barovia.
Where is Barovia?
That is a good question, my friend. Barovia is here. Where here is your guess is as good as mine. We've been pulled to another plane by the devil himself.
No, maybe you, but I was spotted by Pelo, so no worries.
Who is this Pedar? Is he in cohorts with the devil Strahd?
Dragar wonders who is Strahd.
I am most certain Pelo is not in cahoots with him because he sent me to help these men here, and yes, there's evil about, and so therefore I will vanquish it for my gold.
I assure you, my strange friend, that if you were pulled here, it was by no god, only a devil. This is his domain. This is hell. If you are here, you are here by his choice.
So I am here to vanquish El. I like this. This will be good. Pelo will be very proud.
He looks at you, Alton, and he says, "I don't know what the hell Underdark is, but your family wished for you to marry a cow. What's
Oh
the
yes, they,
tradition?
they wished they wished for me to marry a jar lady, but she was perhaps a bit of a disgusting creature. I call her a cow, but in truth, she was perhaps more of a manatee. But I digress. She was not beautiful, not nearly as beautiful as I. She was perhaps a borderline cripple, perhaps. She may have even been a bit of a mudblood. I don't know. Her eyes were a bit unusual for a drow. I don't know how her family allowed her to survive past her infancy. But I simply fled because I did not want to be murdered for, refusing to marry an impure creature.
He's just like listening intently, but you can clearly tell by the look on his face he has no clue what you're talking about. And he just takes a drink of wine and says, "Oh yeah, that is a very interesting story you have."
Yes, but basically, I'll put it in terms you can understand. They wanted me to marry an ugly girl, and I said no, so I left. Okay?
Fair enough. And now you are here. I do not think, like I said, that this is by choice. I think that Strahd himself has pulled you to this land. I've heard tales that he takes outsiders from the other world and he brings them here to toy with.
I could imagine that he wants to toy with me.
Just
Many do love to toy with Alton.
slamming down his goblet of wine or his jug of wine. Dragar would be like, Dragar wonders where this Strahd is.
He is everywhere.
Why doesn't he show his face?
It is because he wishes to play with us. Many wish to play with me.
Or a scout.
I assure you, you do not want to see this man's face. It would be the last thing you ever see. I understand your angst. He's oppressed this city to a point of almost abandonment. There are few lives left here. Even my father, Corleon, he just recently passed away over a week ago. His heart gave out from the stress of Strahd's minions constantly berating our house. It's just me and my sister, Arlena, now. The devil, he comes for her at night. He wishes to take her, the last thing I have in this world.
Why does he wish to take her?
I, he has an asphyxiation on her for some reason. I do not know.
I think
But
this
he
is
visits her regularly and tries to cohort her to leaving and coming with her, or coming with him, sorry.
Dragar says this man comes to your house?
Either him or his minions, he sends very many foul creatures. I don't know how much longer our foundation can withstand. I need to get Arena out of this city, as far away from Ravenloft as I can.
So at this point, you guys would have noticed, because you probably had forgotten about Val. He has obviously drunk quite a bit of this wine. And he looks at the guy and he says, "Why don't we help? I don't see any reason why not. You've given us information, we might as well help you."
He looks at you and says, you would really do that? You would help us escape Barovia?"
I don't know about Barovia, but
I mean the city, I'm sorry. The city is also named Barovia. It is very confusing, I know.
Val would just like smile like he understood what was going on, and he would say, "We're the best fighters here. Why don't we help you?"
And he would say, "Here, let me explain a little better." And he unrolls this map, and he shows you this kind of world map that I showed you guys before. I'll pull you there really quickly just so you can all look at it. And he says, "This is the realm of Barovia. We are currently in the village of Barovia." And he points to this spot right there and says, "This is
share
us."
screen so we can see what you're talking about.
Did I? It's in Roll20, sorry.
Oh.
You haven't switched us in Roll20 either.
No?
I simply say a city map unless the city is the entirety of your world. Do I enter the right side of the town when I exit via the left side?
I'm not sure what's going on then. It shows you that it shows that I have you guys on the world map. Unable to read and set data. There may be a problem with your session. Try reloading it. All right, I'll reload it really quick. But anyways, he shows you this world map, and basically you're in this kind of small, like little opening in a forest where this little city runs alongside a river. And he says, "This is Barovia City, or its village. I wish to go to the town of Vallaki. It is on the outskirts of the mountain, and out of Strahd's ever-ceasing gaze. If you could escort me and my sister to there, maybe she would be farther enough away to hide and not be bothered by Strahd anymore."
I'm sure we could, but what's to say we don't just end you? How can you trust us? You only just met us.
Of course he can trust us. I told him from Pelo. We are here to help them.
Yeah, and with that, he's just like kind of puzzled as to why you would say you would help him, and he's like, "Can I trust you?"
Do not worry about the boy. He's very confused. He looks upon my beauty and jealousy and rage. And
Quiet sorcerer,
he
I'll
has-
cut off your
He
ear.
has temperamental fits from time to time. I promise that if we agree to help you, then I will fulfill my part of the bargain.
And he looks kind of confused now, and he says, "This animosity between you two, he will use this against you. You know. He sees all. He hears all. He is the land."
Good.
No animosity.
It is true. There is animosity, but what can a chicken do to a dragon? It is nothing.
Dragar will squash all animosity. We are fine. Let's just
Yes.
keep talking about Strahd.
And he looks to you and says, "What do you wish to know about Strahd, my bearded friend?"
Where can I find him?
"Well, come to this window." And he kind of walks to the other side of the bar, and he points, and you can't really see it because it's surrounded by mist, but he says, "In that distance, there's a mountain. It is called Mount Gakis, and built upon one of the peaks in this mountain is a castle the devil himself had constructed. He called Ravenloft. That is where he dwells, but where he is could be anywhere. He travels this land as almost part of it, seemingly appearing out of anywhere at any given time, and then just as quickly leaving."
And hearing this, Val would actually draw his sword and stab the table and kind of grin and say, "There, we know he's not in the table."
Dragar thinks
Yes,
Val's had
indeed,
too
it-
much.
Well, why must you attack the table? I don't understand.
That's my hobby.
He says that Strahd conquered this land centuries ago. He named it after his father.
Well, good for him. At least he's thinking of the past.
No one really knows what happened fully, or at least I do not myself, but for whatever reason, many centuries later, he still lives.
Undead. Pshaw. Almost everything can be
Dragar,
killed.
Not for long. No, I don't know. Is there any other information we can glean off of this? Or?
He would ask you if you were to come to my house, meet Arlena, my sister, and then we shall discuss whatever you wish, and perhaps talk of a plan to get to Vallaki. And do you guys see the map now?
Yes.
Yes.
So you
I
guys,
tried to read it though. The words are very blurry.
yeah, it's kind of unavoidable. But right here is where you are, the village of Barovia, and he points over to here and says, "That is where Vallaki is. That's where I wish to take my sister."
That is a very far trip. It is halfway across the universe.
Oh, we could follow the road, but they'd expect us to do that. Why not walk through the woods?
He would actually have like a almost terrified look on his face and say, "No one walks through the woods here. Not unless you wish for it to be your last walk."
My associate Val, he is very fond of dying. He does it more than anyone should, perhaps. Do not encourage him, please.
Alton, I'm warning you. And at this point, Val looks like he honestly, I don't know how to describe it. He looks gone. He doesn't even know what's going on at this point.
Dragar would put his hand on Val's shoulder, try to calm him down, and just pull him off into the corner somewhere into the side. Dragar doesn't really like talking to new people, so he just wait for everybody else to finish doing what they were doing, figuring out what they could. With Val, over in the corner, so he's not bugging anybody.
Yeah, he would say that wolves, dire wolves, werewolves, bats, all kinds of terrible creatures roam the woods, and they all are servants of the devil himself.
So shouting from the corner from where Dragar just took him, "Trees! How about trees? We could kill trees. We already killed a tree."
Oh jeez, oh jeez.
He has the frail body of an old lady. Do not mind his outbursts.
He seems like a bit of a loose cannon. Are you sure that he is someone we can trust?
He will grow out of it. Soon enough, the boy will become a man.
Mm-hmm. He looks to you and says, I understand you are outsiders and you cannot simply understand the way things are here, but rashness or quick decisions without thought often lead to a quick demise.
We've noticed.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I have never done a rash decision in my life. I am very calm and collected, and I never jump into the fray.
He's lying to you.
How could you say that?
Dragar in the corner with Val would just be like, "Shh, let him talk."
Please do not speak to your father in such a way.
You're no father of mine. We only met at most a week ago.
Well, I did not say I was a good father.
With that, he's like, will you help us or not?
Sure. I thought I already agreed to that.
Sure.
They shall help you.
Will you come to my house then and meet my sister?
I would love to meet your sister. I hope she is half as beautiful as Dragar.
Alright, and pulling you back to the city of Barovia, he walks you all the way down to the southmost biggest building right around here, and let me get back to the right page here. A weary-looking mansion squats behind a rusting iron fence. The iron gates are twisted and torn. The right gate lies cast aside, while the left swings lazily in the wind. The stuttering squeal and clang of the gates repeat with almost a mindless precision. Weeds choke the ground and press with menace upon the house itself. Yet against the wall, the growth has been trampled down to create a path all the way around the house. Heavy claw marks have stripped this once beautiful finish of the walls. Great black marks tell of fires that have assailed this mansion. Not a pane or a shard of glass stands in any window. All the windows are barred with planks, each one marked with a stained evil omen.
Oh no. No. Not going in that house. Last house tried to kill us. This house looks worse. And Val would just like sit down before they even got to the gate.
Yeah, and this house does actually look quite considerably worse than the house that you guys were currently trapped in. But as you kind of protest, Ishmark says, "It is fine. This is our house. I know it looks like shit, but we've been constantly attacked by fiend after fiend. It is not what it used to be.
Any labyrinths in the basement? Tree monsters, ghosts, anything of the sort. Dead things, dead children, dolls, any of these things, and I won't walk in that house.
He looks at you and says, "The only thing dead in that house is my father."
Oh,
That
that's,
is
that
this
is that is encouraging. Only one monster to fight. That is good.
He passed
Only-
away, like I said, a week ago. His heart
Only
gave out.
one? Okay, fine.
With that, he shows you and he knocks, and the door is answered by a striking woman with auburn hair. She wears this kind of red robe, her hair concealing most of her neck and shoulders. It kind of runs all the way down to her back. She has these deep brown eyes, and she kind of opens up the little shutter in the door and peeks to see, and then says, "Ishmark, who have you brought here?" And then he kind of responds that he has found friends and someone to perhaps save them, get them out of the Brovia, away from Strahd. With that, she replies, if you guys can be trusted. And he looks back at you, Val, in particular, and says, "Well, I don't know exactly, but it's the best thing I got."
And at this point, Val would take out of the pouch he got from Reader and hold up another ring and say, "I got rings. Here." And he would just hand it to whoever grabbed it from him. And then he'd pass out.
And as he shows you in the interior of this mansion is well furnished, yet all the fixtures show sign of great wear. Noticeable oddities are the boarded up windows and the presence of a holy symbol in pretty much every room. The burgomaster is in a side drawing room, lying on a simple wooden coffin, surrounded by wilted flowers and a faint odor of decay.
At this point, I'd have Val slung over my shoulder. I would have reached down and,
I can't
no,
believe
Dries,
it.
Jagger. What, jeez. And you just throw him over his shoulder and walking around with him
He spends more time face down than even I do. That is impressive.
like Val's light, so Jagger is just walking around like normal.
Ishmael kind of shows you guys in and is like, quickly come in. And as he shows you in, he kind of slides this wooden plank over the door and then starts bolting up lock after lock. And then quickly kind of peeks out the window to see if anyone has followed and then shuts it. And with a deep kind of sigh, he says, This is our house. I apologize for the horrendous sight in the drawing room, but we have not had time or safety to give him a proper burial. Everyone in the town is too afraid to leave their house. And Arena, and he kind of leans in and whispers, Arena doesn't think that he deserves to just be left to rot. She wants to give him a proper burial.
Jagger would just drop Val at this point, just like a soft, or no, pretty medium-sized thud would hit the ground when Jagger just kind of tossed Val, and he'd just look up and Jagger would be like, Dragar knows about the cemetery, why don't you just bury him there?
That is what we want to do, my friend, but to go out by ourselves, I feared that Strahd or one of his minions would pick us off.
Dragar says you were just out 2 seconds ago.
Yes, I occasionally leave the house, but only during the day.
Well, I have to say, my friend Rhaegar, he is a professional gravedigger. He dug a grave for our dearest companion just moments ago. Perhaps he can help you, and you can depart from this town. Would that be acceptable?
Arena comes around the corner and with a look of almost like relief in her eyes, she says, Really, you would help me give my father the burial that he deserves?
Dragar will dig grave.
I would love to supervise him. He is very, very good worker. I could make him even better.
And then she looks to Ishmark and says, Ishmark, if we give him a proper burial, I will go wherever you wish. And then he says, yes, we will go to Vallaki, far from the grasp of Strahd, or as far as we can, and from there, hopefully we'll escape him. and he will bother you no more, my sister.
I know. And then all you will have to worry about are all the daring, charming men attempting to swoop upon her.
Yeah, she's definitely a pretty girl. She has a paleness to her flesh, but it is definitely not unsightly in any way.
It is a bit unusual but I can accept it. Yes. Do you wish to step outside right now? Perhaps we could head over there immediately.
Yeah, and right now it's probably around getting close to evening time. You still have a few hours of sunlight, but you don't know if you would necessarily finish the burial before the sun sets.
Would you like us to sleep over?
And she would say, I wish to bury my father as soon as possible, but Ishmark does not like when I leave the house at nighttime. He says that the devil will come and take me.
Well, I can promise that I would not defile your house until tomorrow. You know.
Dregar will go bury the father now if you want. You could stay here.
Oh no, Dregar, it is not the same if you're not there mourning for your lost companion. Imagine if I had dug the hole and you were not there to say your farewell. It would not be the same.
Yeah, she would look and kind of say that she wants to be there. I want to say my last words. I know it must seem silly, but he was
What is
taken
not
from
silly?
me. And then with that, she would say, yes, you can absolutely spend the night here. If you will help us, then it's the least that we can do. And then with that, I'm not sure if I gave you guys a long rest or not before
Oh,
escaping.
we're still low, pretty low. I'm pretty low.
So yeah, you guys can definitely rest here. They would highly suggest that you guys take turns watching, and they would say that they're extremely exhausted because between the two of them, it's really hard for them to have a constant watch. And Ishmark, especially at this point, you realize the bag under his eyes. It seems like he's probably taking the brunt of these watches.
Yes,
Uh,
I would offer to do half, and I would offer Val to do the other half, but he seems to be a bit incapacitated at this time. But I will take half of it, and my
And
companions, they can handle the rest of it.
Val will snap awake after 4 hours, so just gonna say that.
I hope he does.
Probably with a headache.
Yeah.
Very
Yes,
well.
go meditate, young child. 4 hours. I will be back for you.
He's passed out on the floor right now.
I don't know if that is the same as meditating for an elf, but perhaps he is unusual in his trances.
So yeah, with that, you guys all kind of find your couches. She pulls out a couple cots and says they look rather beat and worn, but they'll suffice for a resting place for you guys. The night comes quickly and abruptly as it's almost swallowed by darkness, and as you kind of just walk around the house, Alton, and study its peeking out of the boarded windows, you don't really see or hear much. A couple hours pass, and you're met with another bone-chilling howl of a wolf. Moments pass, and then it is met with several more howls.
Oh, we have our associates are coming back with us. Oh, it is interesting. And I would walk over to dear Strager, and I would bend down and whisper into his ear, "They have returned for us." And you look adorable.
Dregar would kind of roll over and whisper, Dregar no says no now, Walton, maybe later.
There are wolves. They want to shake a leg, if you will.
Bam! And Dregar is standing on his feet with his axes in his hands, ready to go.
How long is this when the wolves start howling?
Maybe like 2 hours into his watch.
Okay.
Yeah, Dregar's up. I don't gain full health then, right?
You would not have finished a long rest yet, no.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, up and ready to go.
And as you awake, you don't hear any wolves or anything scratching at the door. Alton, the howling has, after being met by several more replies, no more.
It appears that they are afraid of your righteous power.
Ishmark comes around the corner, kind of wiping bags from his or sleep from his eyes, and says, "Did I'm assuming you heard that too?"
Yes, they saw that I was watching them, and the cowards fled. They are very wise.
He says, I doubt they flee. They probably come to assault the house once more.
They would
Come
be
with me
foolish.
and look." And he brings you to like the second floor and kind of peeks out of this boarded window. And as you study, anyone that followed him can give a perception check.
I'm there.
I will roll it. Can someone run dice stream? My dice stream is gone from the world.
Oof, nice.
I'll load that stream for you.
Shouldn't have to worry about it.
I don't know why I rolled 20 rolled up for me, but that is not fantastic.
My dice stream's gone too, actually.
There we go. Yes. I have a very fantastic 9 on my perception check. I'm very
Dregar has like pinpoint precision with his vision at this point, though, and he hones in, sitting on the west side of the house, kind of on an embankment. Several beating, kind of yellowish red eyes, and as your eyes kind of adjust to the darkness, you see quite a few pairs of them. You are easily able to count at least 30 of these eyes staring at you.
Oh, do you have perhaps a safe part of your house that is perhaps a cellar or something I could bar or block with everything you have in your house? That would be fantastic.
We've used everything that we can to bar the house. It has lasted this long, but I fear it will give way at any moment now. I don't know how much longer it can sustain these assaults.
I would just like to state that if I was to finish this particular long rest, I could assist you with the power and force of a thousand suns.
He looks to you, Jagar, and says, "What are they doing?" And as you look out, they're just sitting on this embankment, almost like watching the house. It's about 40 feet away in the darkness.
Dragar says they are preparing. We need to wake the others.
I don't feel that we're very ready to fight 15 wolves. That is a lot of wolves.
Dragar doesn't think we have a choice. Let's just see if we can guard the house, board up the doors, and get ready to see if we can hold them off.
I suppose you are right.
And then suddenly you hear a tapping on the steel roofing of this house, and you all kind of jump, anyone up there, even Ishmark himself, Dragar, and Alton. But then quickly you realize that this tapping is a gentle rain that has started, and it kind of progressively starts growing into quickly a shower as you just hear this continuous dropping of rain on the rooftop.
I've heard much about this. What do they call this? Where you Jagar? They call it the waterfall. Is that what they call it?
A rainstorm, he says. They are often here.
I've not seen any. Where I come from, there is no such thing as a rain. It's very unusual.
Dragar is very used to it. Always sitting in the army, waiting for something to happen.
And he looks to you and says, "What will we do? I don't know if the house will sustain another attack of that many creatures."
Dragar says we need to reinforce. Can we run? Is there anywhere to run to?
Well, I don't know about running from wolves. I must admit to you, Dragar, you are the slowest one here, and I believe they would eat you.
Drakkar kill a few fools, don't you worry.
If only you could find someone to trip and then you could escape.
Suddenly, as you guys are talking, you're interrupted by this thunderous strike that just completely shudders the house. It almost, you feel like the house is actually going to give way as a bolt of lightning quickly follows up this pounding of a thunder as a storm seems to be rolling in. You look outside, Dragar, and you see the wolves have not moved an inch. They're just standing on the hill.
Dragar would still, at this point, look to Alton and the other gentleman that's up there with us and just be like, we need. Dragar says we need to wake the others.
Chances are, unless you sleep like a rock, anyone sleeping would have been woken up by this huge thunderous bang. I don't know how well you guys communicate.
Goat and child, please wake up.
Yeah, no, guy would be like, just eyes would snap open, just be like, oh, no storm.
And now this kind of pitter-pattering of the rain has turned into a downpour, just kind of echoing. It's hard to even like talk at this point between the pounding on the steel roof, and then quickly every so often a bolt of lightning streaks up, completely illuminating the entire area. You see the shadows of the creatures sitting on top of this embankment, just studying the house.
Guy is all smiles, just like, I used to be able to call lightning down from the sky like that. I wonder if this is natural storm or if someone brings us. A Strahd guy know how to play with lightning.
Arena has woken at this point too and says, "Brother, what is happening? Have they come for us again?" And she would look to you guys.
They may be coming for us. I don't know. They are wolves. Perhaps they will melt in the rain. Perhaps they will be hit by a lightning bolt. Perhaps by some miracle we will survive and everything will be okay.
Now that the others are awake, and I think guys had a chance to, figure out what's going on in the storm and everything else, and Val's slowly but hurtfully, hopefully getting up. I think Dragar would be like, Dragar would fill them in on what's going on, and he'd be like, Dragar says we need to reinforce the entrances and exits.
But they said that there's nothing else to reinforce with.
And then you look around, and I guess with do a survival check. Anybody who wants to?
I'm good in that. I got that. Oh, guy just kicked my ass in it anyway.
You would reason that you can at least
-2 though, because this is survival, so she doesn't get her proficiency bonus.
you could at least, if you were absolutely adamant about it, start pushing like furniture and stuff in front of the doors, and completely just barricading yourselves in.
Yeah. And she'll kind of I was like, what was this? Over in front of the door, like pointing to whatever furniture is around, and she'll even start pushing a few things.
Yeah,
And that-
Dragar would do the same. He'd start moving everything to the doors.
And as you guys start anxiously kind of reinforcing what you can, you pretty much push every piece of furniture, chair, bed, anything that you can fathom in front of the doors and windows on the first floor. And then you just kind of eagerly wait. A bit of sweat kind of now pouring down from anyone that's partook in this, as it was quite the rigorous exercise. And then you just kind of sit there, anxiously waiting. Go ahead.
I would also make mention, like, is there a widow's walk or a balcony up above that I might be able to see these creatures? Because I could just lob tiny little lightning at them from a distance if we need to pick them off.
And Dragar would probably pass out. Being used to, barding himself up in the army and stuff, he would probably just sit down and pass right out.
And she would say, yes, there is a balcony on the master bedroom upstairs, but we have it barricaded.
No.
Do you wish to open it? That seems rather...
No. Don't need to undo all your work. It was just an idea, guys.
And you will have noticed now, it kind of dawns upon you all that it's been at least an hour, if not more, since you've first seen the wolves. Yet no sign of them coming to the house. You also would notice that I guess Val was not woken by the lightning storm. He's still on the floor, unconscious.
Gaia is energized by this lightning, and so there's no wonder why she is awake.
Yeah,
But
power so.
she's there's a threat. There's a storm. I should take out threat. I am truly bummed though that she does not have call lightning. There's finally a freaking storm.
So yeah, as you are looking around, it's just Alton and Gaia at this point that are awake. Ishmark says, "How the hell can your friends sleep at a time like this?"
Most people do not appreciate the beauty of such a storm. The power of nature at its work. One day I'll be a druid again. Anyways, Alton.
I must admit they are sleeping because perhaps it is one of those situations, you know. Well, let me explain it to you, darling. If you were in a situation where you would die no matter what you did, yeah, perhaps you would stop worrying about it because you cannot control it.
As you say that, Arena says, "Brother, what are they doing out there? Why have they not attacked?" And then you would have visual on them on the base level floor.
I don't know.
Perhaps they know you have company. They know that we are fierce.
And perhaps they know that you are about to leave the house tomorrow, and that they wish to follow you into the woods where you do not have a house.
He would go upstairs again to look at where they are. Is anyone going to follow him?
Gaia would.
Just Gaia?
Yes, I will stay downstairs and guard my dear Dragar.
Alright, now as you go up there, Gaia, also give a perception check.
Mm-hmm. Perception.
Very
Ooh,
nice.
19.
So you make your way up to this master bedroom and kind of peek out of the boarded up window. And the wolves still sitting there. They have not moved even an inch. And suddenly a lightning bolt strikes the ground exactly where these wolves are pretty much standing. And as the light dispersed, you see a figure standing about man height in between them. You see glowing red eyes. He has a cape that's kind of covering his neck. And he just stands in between all of these wolves. You see him literally, you're pretty sure he makes eye contact with you.
There's a man out there. The guy will say as she points out, in the direction of the hills, amidst the wolves.
Ishmark
means
would lean up as soon as you say there's a guy out there, and he would lean. And so would Arena. And Arena kind of, she starts to go into like almost this fuzzy kind of dazed state. And all you hear say, "Those eyes. Those red, hungry eyes. Where do I know them from, brother?" And he would instantly say, "Do not worry about that, sister." And he would lean to you. He would pull you out of the room, Gaia, almost like emergency kind of.
I'll go to the house.
Yeah, and he would say, that is the devil. Strahd, he is here. He has come."
Said, let's take him out. This could be our chance. You got me and Alton, and well, me and Alton, I suppose will be enough for since our other two companions are out of it, and but this could be a chance to take him out if he is out in the storm.
He would at that point almost like lose his temper at you momentarily and say, "Don't be a fool. He will kill us immediately, instantly. We cannot fight the devil."
Then why have I been sent here? Clearly to fight a devil. And she's like just so poker face, like, duh, that's what I'm supposed to do, idiot.
Yeah,
Like, he may be
absolutely.
frustrated with her, but she is so certain about this.
Yeah, and he's like equally as frustrated, like as sure as you are of the situation, he is equally as sure that it is a absolute terrible idea. You hear this arguing going on, Alton, from the
Aye.
top of the stairs.
And Alton would sigh and shake his head. He would whisper down at Jagar's sleeping body. Like, they don't wish for you to sleep. I'm sorry. Let me quiet them down. He would walk upstairs and say, "Please keep it down. Dragar is sleeping. I don't want for you to disturb him."
He would tell you that the devil has come.
Well, the devil can kill us, or he can stay outside. What do you want me to do about it? If he is the devil, then he will kill us. And if he will not kill us, then we will live. I, I cannot do anything more than that. What
Very
what
well.
would you ask me to do? You said I cannot kill him. Is that correct?
I don't know. I don't know what we can do.
All right. Well, you see, you're asking me to do things that are not possible. Why would I worry about something I cannot control? If he is a monster who wishes to kill us, if he comes in here, I will fight him and probably die. And if he does not come in here, then I will not die because he's not in here.
And with
You are
that,
worrying about things I cannot control. I don't. What do you want me to do?
he says, you are right. There is little we can do besides wait and see what happens next. Around 4 hours would have passed by now in
So
total.
at this point, Val would stir, not knowing where he is, and he would just look around and say, "What are we doing?"
Uh, you are recovering from your alcohol poisoning. I don't believe you're of legal elf age to drink, but
But I gave
but you decided to
Dragar the
do.
alcohol.
Yes, but you decided that you could outdrink Jagar, and from my experience, that is never a good proposition, especially one as frail and weak as you.
And then
I
seeing
feel
this holy symbol on the ground, because you said they were on basically all the ground,
Pretty much every room has a holy symbol of some kind on it.
he would say, he would like kind of poke it with his sword and say, "What's this?"
That is a symbol of holiness. We we use it to ward off the devil, although it does not seem to have very much effect. It's more of a superstition, I suppose.
It's a superstition. Well then, let's just invite the devil in. And Val would go to swipe at the symbol, and then he would think better and say, "Unless you're referring to someone I can't kill."
you are a foolish child. I don't understand why you wish to fight him. Our hosts have made it quite clear that he is a being far more powerful than us.
But Alton, you always say that you're the most powerful. Wouldn't you like to test this theory?
No, I say I'm the most beautiful. You are not very wise, my child.
Beautiful, powerful. You say
We
the
all
same
know that
thing.
Dragar is the most powerful, but Dragar is sleepy. If Dragar is sleepy, he may die in battle because he is sleepy.
With that, he would say, if you invite the devil in, we will surely die. That is the only defense we have.
Yes.
Guy just kind of stands behind, just kind of shaking her head like, no, we won't. But she's not saying anything because she knows better than to keep arguing.
Yes. I will go to sleep. Okay. And you will promise me not to do anything stupid, and then I will go to bed. And when you do your stupid things, hopefully they will not be stupid enough to get us all killed. Okay?
Sure, Alton, go to sleep.
I don't
That way
sleep.
I
I am
won't
an elf. Okay?
promise.
Perhaps you did not know that drow they don't sleep.
You're right, we don't
Well, I
sleep.
mean, I mean, you slept, but that was because you were passed out drunk.
Okay,
Fine,
just go
Alton.
to sleep. Don't
Drift
argue
into
with the little boy.
unconsciousness. Meditate, whatever you want.
I will meditate next to my warm pillow of flesh.
All right, so Alton goes to sleep. Dragar is still sleeping. Gaia and Val are now on watch.
Yeah, I think I only got about 2 hours of meditation.
Yeah, you didn't get a full rest either. Val's the only one that's got a full rest at this point because of his meditation.
His meditation. Anyways,
Quotation marks.
Guy would insist is like, like I'd say maybe like another hour or two goes by, just like, you know, I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go pray about this problem. Perhaps Pelo enlighten me as to how we should go about destroying this devil. And she'll go like sit down, like it does have like a little bit of a weariness to her, but she'll go kind of sit down somewhere and go into a meditative state. Unless
Yeah,
otherwise said, no, don't leave me to the watch alone.
yeah. So as you do that, Ishmark and Rena would come up to you, Val, and they would say, "The only defense we have is that the devil himself cannot enter our residence without a proper invitation."
Then why the symbol? If you must invite him, isn't the symbol useless?
Like I said, it's more of a superstition, something to make you feel comfortable. But whatever you do, please, unless you want us all to die tonight, do not invite that creature in.
What counts as an invitation?
I'm sure you're smart enough to figure that out on your own.
And Val would just kind of shrug and say, well, I'll sit here. If he knocks, I won't let him in.
And then you see him kind of do some kind of like prayer-like symbol and says, "May the morning Lord." He kind of whispers, "May the morning Lord help us."
He doesn't exist. And Val would just like look at him seriously when he says this.
And he's like not even listening to you at this point. He's just kind of like, "What have I gotten myself into by inviting these people into my house?" With that, he takes Alton's wise words. If he's going to die tonight, there's little he can do about it. So he's going to at least die rested, and would say, just kind of try to instill that you do not invite him in, and then go rest. It's just you now, Alton, or not Alton, Val, awake. You kind of peek outside the window. The wolves and man-like presence still stands there watching on the embankment. They haven't moved an inch. It just seems like they're besieging the house, essentially, not being aggressive, but not leaving at the same time.
So, with an intelligence of 12, would I figure that shouting to the guy to talk to him would be considered an invitation in?
Depending on what you're shouting.
Val's aboard, so we would just say, who are you?
Yeah, I feel like your intelligence of 12 is enough to know that an invitation is clearly an invitation. But so if you shout that out, it's kind of drowned out by the immense rainstorm. They're about 40 feet away from you, and it is pouring down rain, thunder, and lightning.
So Val would just kind of shrug since he apparently didn't hear and wander around the house, seeing what was to be seen.
A couple hours pass by as you're walking around bored. You see a doll sitting on one of the cabinets that has kind of that has been pushed against the wall, and it's this like little skeleton like rag doll. You look at it, and you just kind of your attention's drawn to it, and as you hold it in your hand, you look, and there's a tag that's kind of blotted out, but you can barely read that it says, "Is no fun, is no Blinsky," on the tag of it, and there's some kind of italic writing, a G and a B, some kind of initial. You put the doll back, and it's just kind of staring at you, and as you start walking away in the room, you hear a dark, deep, ominous voice. "Your friends, they are weak. They will kill you." They will cause your death.
Of course. Isn't that what all friends do? I don't keep very many. And then with a lazy flick of his wrist, Val would just cut this doll in half.
And you easily do so.
And then he
Voice,
would walk on to the next room.
why do you keep company with such weak mortals?
Because the company of non-weak, inanimate objects are not that amusing.
How about you open that door, come outside, join me.
They
I will
told me
show
not to.
you what true power is.
And Val would hold up his sword and say, I may not have true power, but I have steel.
Steel is nothing compared to what I can show you. I
Of
can show
course
you a
not.
power that you cannot even imagine.
And Val would honestly begin to laugh and say, Power I cannot imagine. Get lost. I don't need it. Power will come to me if it needs me. And he's just like continuing to wander around, probably in circles at this point.
And then with that he says, I see you are a fool, just like your friends, and you shall die a fool, just like your friends.
That's fine, but keep talking, or else the boredom will grow.
And with that the voice goes away, and the rest of the night is uneventful, and as the rain stops, you peer outside and the wolves and creature have dispersed.
So, whenever the other people wake up, Val will tell them of the voice, and then he'd say, I didn't let him in, like you said. I wanted to, though.
Oh, I know that you are very eager to die. You do it every single time you engage in combat.
Dragar says, good morning. And Dragar just woke up after like some great dreams, even though we're in a horrible land. He kind of wakes up, he's on his back, he's twisted like a puppy with his arms in the air, and he's kind of twitching right before he wakes up. And then he wakes up and he's, good morning, Dragar says, good morning.
It appears that you had a very fortuitous sleep cycle. You are looking more vibrant than ever, my
So yeah,
Dragar.
since everyone didn't really buy into the kind of stress of being besieged, everyone got a long rest without interruption, so you guys can all refill everything that you need to. Um, as you look outside and seemingly out into the daylight, it is still an odd light. It does not seem much like a daylight at all, as it just is. The area is illuminated by this. You assume there's a sun somewhere out in that sky, but it is too overcasted by this fog that never seems to lit up.
Dragar says we have a body to bury, don't we?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, it should be a delightfully easy thing to do. The ground is very wet now, right? You don't have to break the heart pact of the ground.
I think Dragar at that point would look at Gaia, and knowing that she's the paladin and the one that has the closest attachment to any form of god, he'd be like, you just look at her.
And Dragar has died.
Yeah, like he looks at her and what?
Dragar has died. I will mourn him until he returns.
Yeah, it seems like he's disconnected, but we'll let him figure that out in a couple seconds. If you can still hear me, Dan, just try reloading. With that, Ishmark is currently kind of hammering shut the coffin lid over his father.
Wait for her to make a call.
He looks to you guys as he tries to grab an end, and you can see that he's clearly not going to be able to carry this body by himself. Arena will come over to his side and grab the other handle. There still looks like there's two other handles that need to be maybe grabbed to carry this thing efficiently.
Gaia will lend a hand, even though she's kind of massaging her temples a little bit today.
Yes, our Gaia and our Dragar. Well, Dragar could do both, but Gaia, you can help him.
Is Dragar back?
Yes, Dragar is back. Welcome.
Gaia's back, so he looks at Gaia
How's
longingly.
Sorry, Dragar looks at Gaia knowing that she's the one that has any closest attachment to a god, and he just kind of waits for her to make a call on what happened next. For the burial and the stuff, you know.
She's gonna help whatever the funds at home.
Carry the coffin.
Oh, okay, we're at that point. Sorry, we're pallbearers now. That's awesome.
Yeah,
and,
pallbearers. There we go.
and as you carry the coffin through town, you carry it back up to this church that you've once visited before.
If I can, I think Val would be sitting on top of the coffin.
You will, Ishmark and Arena would not be down for that. They'd be very insulted if you even tried to do it. What the hell is wrong with you, boy? Do not disgrace my father.
He is a child. He does whatever comes into his brain. I don't understand.
The child should have enough common sense not to do such a thing.
Well, this is clearly not the case.
Look,
Let's see.
I think I deserve this one. I didn't let your murderer into the house.
I know, you set the bar so low, you managed to hop over it.
Dragar would just shoot a stern look at Val. Try to keep carrying the coffin.
You arrive at the church door again. Sorry. And Ishmark says, I wish for Donovich to do the sermon for my father. He has known us since we were little boys and girls. Could someone please come with me to get him?
I would love to help you get the Donovich. He sounds like a spectacular individual.
And I'm pretty sure that only Gaia has.
I'm like, the name guy would be like, I believe I talked with him just yesterday. A good man he is.
Yeah, and so who's gonna come in with her? Just
I'll come.
Gaia, Alton.
Val will walk in.
Dragar will just grab the coffin with both hands and heave it over his head and stand there like Atlas holding the world, waiting for everyone to come back.
I'll be back shortly. I will not let you squander and waste away.
Guy would look very impressed for a moment and then follow the others.
So yeah, as you walk in, Donovich is pretty much in the exact same position as when you left him, Gaia. He's still on his knee in front of this altar. You look around the chapel and all the pews are smashed. There's candles lit, a ton of them on this altar. And he's just in prayer. As he notices you guys come in, he turns around and with a look of familiarity in his eyes, he says, Alina, so nice to see you. It's been so very long. What has brought you here? And she tells him that it is the death of her father, Kolyan, and that she wishes to bury him in the graveyard of Barovia before leaving this town. And as she is saying that, from seemingly beneath the floor, you hear a voice call out, Father! I'm starving! And Donovich just has a look of, like, defeat in his eyes.
What was that? Someone...
Father!
Explain.
And he just looks like he's, like, holding back tears at this point. He is not talking to you. He's just like, I'm sorry. Please leave me alone.
At that point, Val would draw his sword and say, "Okay, I've had it. Explain." And he's holding the sword at Donovich.
He's not an enemy. We can just use words, okay?
I am using words.
And the sword, idiot. So...
The sword helps.
Swords can be very precise. This is one... Who is this? What is the voice who is calling for Father and...
It is my son. It is my son, Doru.
So... Why is he... He sounds very distressed.
Yes, I say my son, but it's more of a husk of what my son used to be. And he looks like he's fighting back tears. You see, he left me about a year ago. Him and the townspeople, they chose to rally against Strahd. They marched to his castle, armed with weapons, with a wizard who said that he was able to bring down this devil and finally cease this oppression that he has brought upon us. But none of them ever came back.
So another without a soul, is that it?
Far worse. The devil has done terrible things to him. He came back about 2 weeks ago, but no longer the son that I remember, but a hideous creature. A creature that lies awake in the night, hungering for blood, fangs. The only thing I could think to do is seal him in the basement. I don't know what to do. I cannot kill my own son.
Then we'll kill him for you. A
And
son who is dead should not come back.
No. Okay. Woo! So doesn't sound good. I feel like I know the. Oh, come on, it's a type of undead, I believe. Yeah, Uta, obviously. But, what is the name for such creatures that drink blood? Oh.
Are you talking about the vampire or something else? I don't understand.
Yes! Yeah, I wrote intelligence just to be like, does she know what this is? Because, man, I think she would, but, okay, she's just going to be like, I think I know what this is, and, yeah, anyways.
Yes, my son, he has come back, infected by the devil, cursed by his
So-
blood. He is now a vampire, but
So
more
the
of a
devil-
spawn.
So the devil's a vampire. Wow, I never knew that.
That explains nothing.
Oh, that's one thing. He's a vampire. He tried to drink blood, and he's dead. And I think it narrows it down to a certain point.
Let us fix this. And Val would be looking for the stairs.
Please do not hurt him.
Yeah,
He's just a boy.
He's already been hurt. He's dead already. Give up. And Val would just like say, I've had it with the act. And his face just goes serious and he says, a vampire, it's just as bad as a specter. And he just walks, continuing looking for the stairs down.
I would look at the priest and be like, it's like, it's understandable that he is your son, and that you may not be able to do such a deed. But I know of no cure for vampires, and unless you want to put risk to the towns that already seem to have so few people, and I don't know if you can keep them locked up forever.
I know I can't. He never stops. Day in, day out, night in. All he does is yell for flesh. I don't know what to do. I can't bear to lose my son, but it is not my son anymore.
Ray is already gone. They'll just.
He looks to you and says,
Liability.
please, if you're going to do this, do it quickly,
Of course.
painlessly as possible. He was a very sweet young boy. He does not deserve this. No one does.
Indeed.
With that, he points to the corner, which is this room I'm going to reveal to you. And he says that in that room is a trap door that is locked. It leads to the basement floor where Doru, his vampire son, lays hungering for flesh. All while all this is going down, Dragar is still outside holding the coffin.
I think after hearing this, Val
He's
would.
surrounded by like a little pool of sweat by now. He's shaking. His whole body's red, but not in a good way. Like he's just, oh jeez, when are they getting back out here?
Val's gonna walk outside and say, Dragar, we have things to kill.
Like
The
I said,
funeral
he's
will
just
have to
covered in
wait.
sweat. Training, trying to look cool this whole time, but definitely exerted to a point of exhaustion.
Oh no! Oh no! Not Dragar.
You still look fabulous, Draga. I'm not to tell you otherwise.
All sweaty and yeah.
Just kind of looks at the newfound people, Ishmael and Arena, and he's just kind of like in desperation's like, hey, where do you want? Dragar wonders where to put this.
Oh, I'm sorry. You did not need to be holding that the whole time. Thought you were just so strong that I didn't know. You can put it down. I apologize.
Gaia would lend a hand real quick too, just to make it a smooth. Put
Yeah, Dragar just spit
With
on
her
his
great strength of 8.
wife. Dragar wipes the sweat from his brow and just, just kind of sits down.
Yeah.
Oof.
Arena would come outside and tell her brother what has happened. That Doru, the son of the priest Donovich, has fallen victim to Strahd and has been turned into one of his mindless minions. With that, he says that they will stand outside and watch the coffin of their father while you guys, I guess, deal with this issue. If you head to the room where he said the trapdoor is, you can tell that time and neglect has punched holes in the ceiling of this moldy room. It contains a few broken roof shingles amid puddles of water. In one corner, set into the floor, is a heavy wooden trapdoor held shut with a padlock and a chain. A young man's scream of anguish can be heard through the door.
Gaia would make just a quick reminder to everyone, like, remember, we want to make this quick. No torture.
Dragar would unleash his weapons. He would have them in his hands ready.
Yeah, Val would have been carrying his sword and say he's carrying it, and he steps back into the shadows, not very convincingly, but he says, "End it quickly." Yeah.
Dragar says this
Good, I'm
kills
glad to
for
be honest
mercy. Sorry.
And with that, if no one else is wanting to go first, Gaia will happily lift the trapdoor, saying that her companions are armed and ready to go.
And what is Alton doing, actually? He has kind of been quiet through this whole...
Alton, he is speculating a bit on what to do. He is worried for the goat girl because she is not as tough and powerful as the marble statue that is known as Dragar. Young Gaia, perhaps you should allow me to accompany Dragar into the darkness.
Dragar will take care of this mercy killing.
And hearing this, Val would just say, "Oh, enough already," and he would fling the trapdoor open and go down.
See, I told you he is so eager to die.
Alright, so as you go into this undercroft, the church's undercroft has a rough hewn wall, and the floor is made of damp clay and earth. Rotting wood pillars strain under the weight of the wood in the ceiling. Candlelight from the chapel above sips through the cracks, allowing you to glimpse a gaunt shape in the far corner. Revealing it, you're going to have to look to your guys' right. And I'll start revealing it. And you all have your tokens and stuff. Obviously, this is not super important. We can still see it or mine it, but if you want to...
I'm just grabbing it so I can have initiative.
Yeah,
roll
exactly.
here.
And kind of hanging out in the one corner that's not revealed in the top is a kind of shadowy figure. As you guys make your way down into the basement, you hear a very tortured sounding voice kind of cackle with laughter. "Ha, Father, it seems like you finally have brought in me some food."
And Dragar would just call out, Dragar says, "Where are you?"
And you do see him in the corner, and with that, we'll roll initiative.
I have no control over my token.
That's interesting. Give me a second I gotta clear out the old.
Yeah, she didn't have control last time either.
Towards the end.
I don't know why that rolled twice. Or
Okay,
first one.
I apparently have no control of your token either.
Make
But
sure that the token is selected, Rhaegar, so that it will appear in the turn order.
now you should have control of your token, Gaia.
I have control! What do you think? And let's see if my initiative on selected Gaia works. What a voice of a natural 20.
What did
So
Dragon roll?
you got to
13.
hit a 13.
Alright.
Oh, there we go. Oh, sorry.
You are able to act first, and in the corner you see this boy holding onto his head, just clearly tortured. His mouth just agape. You see clearly fangs on the top half of his jawline, or his mouth, where teeth should be pointy as daggers, these teeth. And he just screams that he's hungry and cannot wait to feast upon your flesh, Gaia.
Right, on that note, protection from good evil. But we're going to make it the protection from evil, because, yes.
It is all.
Alright. And what is that? Just a advantage or disadvantage for me?
Your attacks have disadvantage against her, assuming that you are one of the 17,000 creature types listed, and you cannot possess her or
Alright,
scare her.
Yeah.
sounds good. And anything else you'd like to do?
She shall move up here, because now that she is protected, hopefully, by putting herself forward, it will attract the creature to her, and because she's protected, and therefore not go after other companions.
Alright.
And she's gonna pull out her short sword. Mwahaha!
So Alton, you see Gaia cast this kind of light spell that kind of encases her with some kind of a shimmering shield of some type. What do you wish to do? As you're on the top of the stairs looking down, you see this tortured boy in the corner. Everyone's starting to spread out around him.
Boy, I will be a very nice man, and I will put you down like the dog you are. It is not personal. I do not simply worry too much about it, but do not feel bad about it. And he will move up 30 feet, getting closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He'll stand here, and as he looks across to the very strange child, he would click his as I failed to click. I'll snap my fingers, and you will immediately see many copies of my glorious body as I begin to cause a bit of a blur. Oh, I only blur so that you may enjoy my spectacle from all angles. Please. And that would be it for me.
Very nice. Drager, you are now up.
Sorry. I'm still too far away, so.
Yes,
Very
stand
good.
behind me, please.
Dragar at this point would move up as close as he could, and I think when he gets there, can I take a bonus action before an action?
Yep.
Okay, so basically, Drager, when he sees the boy and he gets to this range, he basically just starts raging out immediately, and this bright red body just gets flared easily and quickly, and his tattoos are glowing that faint dim yellow instead of purple or red anymore, and he whips a light hammer regularly at the guy, because I know rage doesn't have any effect on ranged weapons.
Oh,
So I am raging. I'm still without 5 feet. So you just take the 8. Sorry. So I miss. And the light hammer just hits the wall beside his head.
Are each of these squares 5 feet? Because you're within 30 feet.
Yeah, you're within 30 feet.
Yeah, so I can throw a light hammer, right?
Yep.
You got a 20 to hit. That is a hit.
Yes. So yeah, you definitely hit him. As the hammer kind of hits his skin, though, it almost bounces off, as it seems like he has some unnatural resistance to this bludgeoning damage.
Why would I have advantage there?
Not advantage.
You would. It's just your first roll has a 20.
Oh, see, I see an 8. That's weird.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you have 2 rolls there for some strange reason. I don't know.
Oh, I got you. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. I see what you're saying. My fault. Sorry.
No worries. So yeah, that you hit him, but it does not seem to have the same effect that you would thought it would have, as it seems like he has some kind of natural resistance to that type of damage. Next up, we have Val.
So Val, rather confused that we were here to take him out quickly, but everyone else, except for Dragar, hasn't even made an attempt to attack. He's just going to quickly move up, and luckily this guy hasn't gone yet, and he's just going to run up at him and take a slash at him with advantage due to assassinate, because I'm deadliest when I get the drop on my enemies. He hasn't moved yet, so 24 to hit. I assume that's a hit.
You assume correct. 15 is everyone's target.
So I come down with a slash, and my sword, before it impacts, just glows this blood red, and Val says, "You hunger? So do I." And he just slashes in for both of those damages, so...
Okay.
Because of sneak.
Sounds good. And you just slash right across his chest, opening him up pretty much wide.
And then Val would take, using his bonus action to disengage, he'd move back as far as he... Well, not as far, but he'd move back and say, "Opening strike." And then he's just, like, not even paying attention to anyone else at this point.
Perfect. And as you do that, he holds his hands to his head, and he just yells, "Father, you've brought me so many delicious treats." And you see this cut that you've drawn on his chest actually start to seal shut, as it seems like he has some kind of regeneration that is sealing that wound that you just did. And clear as day, he regains some of his health, and then he dashes, grabbing onto one of these rotting pillars. He actually kind of whips himself onto the ceiling, and then clinging to the ceiling valve, he scurries along the top of the roof and gets the drop on top of you. He goes into a flurry of claws, critting. Oh my god.
Oh, a good night, darling.
Oh my god.
I hope you're not killed by the 2 crits and the regular hit.
2 crits.
So yeah.
How would you like to roleplay being unconscious?
It's actually so much worse than that. You don't even know. Okay, so let's do some damage here. You almost want to die quickly.
Yes, perhaps he'll spare you the bite attack if you're unconscious.
Wow, Val, you got a history.
And
How are we doing crits, by the
oh
way?
yeah. So yeah, I misrolled that. It's max damage. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then I gotta do 6.
I think he's unconscious after the first hit.
How many health points do you have?
I have 15 health points.
Alright, so yeah, at least you go down before the bite, which is very lucky for you. So yeah, he takes you down with his 2 claws, and then seeing that there's so many delicious targets actually, he will finish his movement and go to bite you, Alton, but I'll re-roll out of fairness.
Those crits, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh.
And he
Ah,
bites
that's...
onto you.
And as he bites into my delicious flesh, he is a bit surprised as he bites into thin air. My delicious illusion, perhaps confusing this silly boy.
Exactly, and he kind of lunges into it, thinking that he's got a delicious snack, but he vanishes through one of your illusions, bringing Gaia back up.
Excellent. So, with all this fun stuff going on, she just points one of her swords up into the air as she calls out, Baylor, and this strike of lightning comes on as she casts Searing Smite. Lightning Smite onto her sword, and she will go in for an attack. Let's see. 22 to hit, and then just the 2. So yeah, the one with the lightning smite on, does 22 hit?
Yes, 22 definitely hits.
He has an
Awesome.
armor class of 15.
Alright, and then damage. Oh, he should have just rolled the lightning smite. Whatever. Damage is 6. No. Yes, 6 piercing and 3 lightning, and they will have to take another.
I will tell you a secret, Mary, because you are
Yes.
playing a paladin. Okay.
Mhm.
First of all, lightning smite is okay, but a normal smite is stronger.
Yes.
And in addition, a normal smite does extra damage to creatures that are undead or fiends. So and on top of that, you can also smite in addition to using your lightning smite ability. So I would suggest using that. Because the smite via your auto attack is a normal and ability you simply add on when you strike.
It's up to you though, Mary. Obviously, it's your character. If you want to play it like that, that's completely fine.
The difference is 3d8
I'm ready.
damage.
Yeah. Um, I don't know where the extra d8's coming from. Like, I know you can add a 1d8 for each level beyond this.
I will explain it again. The base is 2d8, and
Mhm.
if the creature happens to be undead or a fiend, you add an additional d8 for free.
Okay.
And we are led to believe this is a vampire, and if it is, then you
Mhm.
would add another d8.
Now we'll go. Yep. No. Yeah, that would make more sense. And that guy is about. Power Palar stab.
Absolutely. So go ahead and do the extra damage then.
Just know that you are down 2 of your spell slots because you did 2 smites.
14 lightning.
There's a lot of damage. Good shit.
We want to make this quick. Do we
So
not?
is that on top of the damage that you already did, or?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
The bonus action was lightning smite, and the attack is just the attack, and the smite is free.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage. And as you do this radiant kind of bursting light of damage to him, he hisses and burns in a searing kind of pain, and he says, "What have you done to me?
I've brought the letter Pelor to you.
It burns."
Indeed, I'm sorry for your. I am sorry for what has happened to you, but you must not. We're putting it down.
Alton, you're now up as Gaia has bursted him into radiant damage, searing his skin.
Perhaps she should move her token into melee range.
Yeah.
Of course, absolutely. She's always in melee range.
And Alton would stand and he would look at this disgusting creature, and it would become even more disgusting as his beautiful non-existent beauty is removed with a searing smite of righteousness. And my first strike would be a 20 to hit.
Definitely.
My second strike via my offhand would be, but only an 8, as I would miss. So
Not
you
so
would
much.
see Alton as he would simply smile and smirk back at this foul creature. He would slash at him with both blades. The first one striking it square in the shoulder as I chop off a bit of his flesh. But as I miss after the second strike, I just stare back at him. Oh, you could not touch this. I'm untouchable, child.
Da-da-da.
I will not go down quite as easily as my associates.
Absolutely. And as you land that slashing damage, you also notice that very similar to Dragar, he has resistance to it, but you still do damage nonetheless.
Oh, that is okay. I can accept this.
And Dragar, you're now up as everyone's kind of surrounding him after he just destroyed Val, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd move into range. So since I'm in rage, everybody has advantage on attack rolls now against this monster, and I will dual wield my warhammer for bludgeoning damage. That's probably won't hurt him very strong, but I do hit for 7 damage.
Nice.
And at this point, Dragar would just, as he's hitting this creature, he would just you try to yell out, "Use magic damage," and as he's hammer crush down onto the creature.
Absolutely. And Val, in a reoccurring theme, you have to make a death save after the first round of initiative.
Oh, look, I'm up.
Hey, you're up. Well, stable. Oh yeah, you're up with 1 HP.
Yep. Surprisingly. I don't think do I get to do anything?
No, that was your action.
I figured as much.
And he turns around and hits you again. No, I'm just kidding. This time he will fixate on, and you will notice that as he's still searing from this damage, he looks and almost kind of like as he's trying to exert himself, the cuts do not seal shut as they did previously before, as this searing kind of damage has burned his skin. He will look in anger at you, Gaia, for doing that, and he says, "You foul creature, you will pay." And swing and a miss, swing and a hit,
Yeah. 17. Yeah, 17.
and
Ha 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 ha! Take that, 1.
yeah, so he hits you for 9 slashing damage. His claws get through, but you're able to block everything else out. And you are instantly back up now as he's engaged with you in combat, and he's just like going into this flurry of claw marks and trying to snap at you.
Excellent. Okay. Okay, so I have 1 spell slot left. She's going to make this quick. She's going to be like, we're going to attack you again with advantage. I don't think a 12 gets through on that first one, but a 16 should on her offhanded.
16 does.
And just a crit. No, I did not. But okay, cool. So her offhand one, she will get through with a 5, and then she's going to do that.
Super mega damage.
Yeah, roll 3d8 for 16, and she is now out of spell slots.
Very nice, but you bash into him again with another searing blow, devastating this creature once more. He's at a weakened state now, as you're just like plowing through his health with all these attacks. Just cuts are searing open all across him, and as you're trying to finish him off, he's just hissing in pain. Alton, you are now up.
Hey,
You're on mute. Oh, wise.
I will stare back at him, disgusted as his horrifying visage is just maimed even further, and I will feel a bit sorry for my defeated companion who has just recently come back to life, and I will shuffle over and stand between him and Dragar. With the distraction caused by the powerful wolf totem barbarian, I will strike out at this monster twice with advantage. And by some strange miracle of the gods, both will actually hit. But the first strike would be supremely powerful, cutting right across his chest. But the offhand would barely nick his cheek for the barest of damage, as I do a total of 10 to him.
Absolutely. And he kind of howls in pain and says, "I will devour you. I swear it."
You cannot devour me. I am too beautiful.
Draga, you're now up. This creature seems like he's injured.
All right. I think at this point I would take out. I don't have that. Sorry. Yeah, I just go ahead for another dual wield smack on the head with my warhammer, and he would just crush him the first time as hard as he could over the back and over the shoulder, and that would be his only hit. So it would be 4 damage, six damage.
Very nice.
I don't know why.
Yeah, you hear the cracking and snapping of bones. Obviously, you know that the non-magical damage has a bit of resistance, but nonetheless, you're beating through and bringing this poor boy closer and closer to his final moments. As Val is about to kind of stabilize himself and stand to the ground, you hear Donovich upstairs cry, "No, Darlu! Please don't hurt him. He's just a boy." And Val, you're up.
So Val, standing up, just kind of spits out this blood that's in his mouth, and he says, that wasn't nice. And he just wipes his hand across his chest where he's been hit, and then wipes that across his sword and says, "You want food?" And then he's going to strike out with advantage and hit.
Yep.
Dealing 9 points of damage. And then just with his other hand, if I can, as a bonus action, draw and slash the guy with my dagger as well.
Yep.
Also at advantage, but I don't get the sneak, I don't think.
You do not. A hit nonetheless.
Dealing 1 point of damage.
Alright, it's enough to bring him to a bloodied state though, as he's just kind of hanging on. He goes down to a knee, and he just cries out, "Curse you! Curse all of you!" And
Hey, I fed you.
with that, he hasn't had much luck with Gaia, so he eyes up Dragar, and seeing your big muscular stature, he thinks you look like a delicious treat. And he will go.
Oh, Dragar, no!
Doing 21 damage to you.
Oh,
I can take it.
beautiful. You're too beautiful to die, Dragar.
And it's not magical, it's just slashing damage, so your range will. And as he goes and kind of digs his claws into your arms, Dragar, it's almost like he tries to grapple you as he sinks them both into each shoulder, and then he lunges forward to bite, and you kind of fall back just in time to avoid the bite on the nape of your neck. You just fall away quickly enough to just barely miss. Gaia, you see this going down as he's almost like starting to fall on top of Dragar. He's in a bloodied and desperate state. And you're on mute.
Would you look at that? I was muted. Okay, well, Gaia saying that, this creature just keeps attacking us. And not exactly attacking me because it's obviously intelligent, so why not turn unholy? And so she is going to kind of tap at the emblem that's on her vesture, and kind of start basically going to a prayer as she calls upon Palor and whatnot. And yeah, all undead and 30 feet of me are turned for 1 minute if they fail their wisdom save.
And a wisdom save incoming. Oh.
Oh, yes! You only had to make it. The DC was only 12, but I'll take it too. That's great. So, yeah. Churches will use their turn to move as far away from you. They cannot will themselves within 30 feet of you. So, Gaia, awesome. And then she's, oh wait, that's an action. So, yeah, she'll just kind of stay huddled with everybody.
Very nice.
Is it happen immediately? I believe, right? As a reaction.
I believe so. It's just
It will say if it will immediately retreat. I believe it does.
Oh my goodness! I closed the stupid PDF.
Alright, I will open it up, I suppose.
Just had it.
I'm good with it just turning him anyways. Just he's already bloodied anyway. So he as you cast that, he says, "Oh no, Strahd, my lord, I'm coming. These foul people, what are they doing to me?" And he just runs.
But he does not run.
Yeah,
No.
he's not going to get too far as he provokes 4 opportunity attacks.
Sure.
Yes.
I like stabbing things.
With advantage.
Well, I'll take the. Well, okay, just in case there's a. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, that was my wisdom. Dang it. That hits them.
Oh,
Great score.
what is going on? Are you tired? You seem to be bleeding everywhere.
Val is
Everybody gets
bleeding.
physical or advantage on physical attacks on that one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know,
so
but I
as
rolled a
he-
10 both times.
As he goes and turns, it's enough between Alton and Gaia to strike this beast down as Alton kind of stabs both of his swords through the kid's chest, and then Gaia comes in and finishes him, knocking him to the ground. And
Go just sever this head from the body so nothing weird happens.
no, he drops down, and then his last words he cries out, "Father, I'm sorry."
I'm sure that you are very sorry, but you do not need the head anymore.
Yeah. No, Gaia, yeah, she's all over that. It's like,
So,
little passwords on if you didn't hear, and head.
hint.
And give me a perception, everybody.
Okay.
17.
So Dragar, Val definitely hear it.
I definitely do not hit it. I'm very proud of myself for stabbing him in the back.
17. That's definitely a guy I also hear. You hear Donovich burst out into tears as he says, "No, my son, I am the one who is sorry. I have failed you." And you hear kind of shuffling upstairs, and then suddenly the snapping kind of sound of something very unnatural, and then silence.
When you say a snapping sound or something very unnatural, are we talking about like the snapping of bone?
Yes.
Val, hearing the sound but not caring, is going to walk over to the corpse, stab it with his sword, and then begin to draw in his own blood and the blood of the corpse this holy symbol. And he says, "Well, I might worship a god of death. He despises undead." And he's drawing the symbol of Kelvamore on the ground. And when he finally finishes, he's just going to sit there and say, "Undead," and spit on the corpse.
Gaia will have gone upstairs, not in exactly a rush, but in the. I think I know what I'm going to see.
And Dragar would look at Alton and give him a little, "Come on, let's go," and run
Yes.
after Gaia.
And as
Let
you
us.
And
go
seeing everyone
upstairs,
leave, I would follow.
and you look,
Please stand behind this child. I don't wish for you to die.
and as you head upstairs and head back to the chapel, you see a very grisly sight as Donovich is hanging on a rope from the rafters as he has taken his own life in despair of losing his son, and his corpse just kind of swings in the air.
Oh, well.
Yeah. You catch him. Or you hold him. I will cut the rope.
And Dragar agrees.
Val will help them cut him down and say, "He deserves burial."
Everyone here is
All over
so to die. So strange.
Well, we burn the body in the basement, maybe.
Yeah, you can do all of the above. Eventually, after some time passes, Arena and Ishmark kind of come in to see what is going on and what's taking so long, and they're met with the horrible sight of Donovich also hanging from the rafters. They both at least Arena bursting into tears, as it seems like they have known him since they were children. Um, she is very devastated by this, and now is just crying out, who will say the last words for my father? And she's just like, Donovich, he's the only priest in town. How will my father ever find rest? How will Donovich ever find rest? And she's just like almost inconsolable as Ishmark is like kind of just trying to hug her. But yeah, they're very sad by this.
And I guess we would just Dragar would be holding on to Donovan, and he would start walking outside, and get his shovel ready, and Dragar would be like, "Did I gotta bury everybody today?"
Do we know what type of who Donovich worshipped?
The Morning Lord. So
The Morning Lord.
coincidentally enough, pretty much the same god as Gaia worships, although it maybe has some like differences. It's not quite the same. She would be familiar with it, but it definitely is the god of light.
So Val would look over at Gaia and say, "You could say the words, or I could say something. We worship different deities."
I would suggest to Gaia. She seems to have this thing called tact. I could explain it to you, but I'm not good at words.
And Val would just look at Alton, and Val's just like covered in blood, and he says, "You're right. She does have tact. But who needs tact?"
As you're also kind of speaking, Guile put a hand out towards, because I believe you're still needing healing. Covered in blood, duh! And she'll give you 10 hit points.
That almost puts him at full.
Val will gratefully accept, and then, noticing this, Val would say, "Lord of Light, huh? Who knew I'd be working with a Lord of Light?"
It is no goddess of beauty, but I can accept it.
And with that, Dragar is already at Rick digging now unfortunately 2 graves, as he has apparently become the master of digging graves in this last couple of 48 hours.
Val's going to drag the vampire spawn corpse outside and burn it.
Absolutely. And it kind of smolders away to ashes, actually quicker than you would presume, leaving nothing left, not even bone. And you're able to put both the Burgomaster Corleon in his grave and now the newfound deceased Donovich in a opposing grave. And Arena looks to you, Gaia, and says, "You are the worshipper of a god of light. We also serve the god of light here. Could you please give them a send-off?"
Indeed. Of course, she'd be a whole lot more eloquent than I could ever be, but the essence of what she will say is, and as we see, the sun has gone down on these two. Sorry, is someone saying something? Never mind. But she's like, the sun has gone down for these two, only to rise again as they go on to their next adventure and their new life. And so, those would be your parting words.
The parting words that Val has for his burning corpse here is, he says, "He went off to fight Strahd, so he must have at least died a warrior. Even if he came back as undead, I think Kelvamore would understand. It wasn't his fault." And then he would walk away.
At this point, Dragar would look up to Ishmark and Ariana and just be like, "Dragar thinks there's nothing left for anyone now. We should probably just all go."
Yes. Ishmark says to you, "I think it is time we rid ourselves of this wretched city. Hopefully Vallaki will bring at least some light I thank you again for helping us.
Absolutely.
With that, the kind of ceremony would commence, and they would be ready to go. They would ask you if there's anything else you would like to accomplish in the city before you head out on the Salovich Road, they call it.
Is there any way that we could perhaps? Are there any merchants in your town, or is it too far gone to have merchants?
Yes, there is one merchant. His name is Bildrith.
Perhaps we could cash out our belongings there for monetary goods.
Dragar could use armor or something to help.
Yes, your body is far too scarred from your openings in your defense, darling. You worry me.
I am. And Val would just look down at himself and say, yes, armor would be useful, not that it would help me.
No. You
Also,
should not run headlong into battle, child. It's not safe.
can we take just like a 2-minute break? I need to go use the restroom.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll play for like another maybe half hour or a little more, and then we'll shut it down for the night.
Okay.
So meet back up in 5 minutes, everyone.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a quick drink, and then
Yeah,
I'll be
you
back.
got it.
All right, I'm back.
Oh.
Oh, so you gotta wake up in how many hours now?
I'm delaying it a tiny bit, but I normally would wake up in 5 hours.
It's pretty gross. Yeah, we won't play for too much longer. We'll shut it down pretty quick. I want to get through a little bit more just to push it a little bit further. But that should be good for the night. We've been playing for what, over 2 hours now?
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Merchants are useful.
You could. Some would say that.
You really gotta stop critting me, you know?
it really is getting to be pretty ridiculous at this point.
It is very ridiculous.
It's always like you act first in the initiative, and then you die.
I don't even always act first. Sometimes I act like third, and I'll still die first turn. I can stand in the back, and I'll still die first turn. It's not a fight if I don't go down, apparently.
That's now the party strategy: is you take the brunt of the attacks.
It is funny because by that definition, every fight is a fight.
So yeah, with everyone being back by the looks of it, you come to a sparsely lit building. It spills behind, this light spills behind a heavy curtain. A sign over the door, creaking on its hinges, reads Bildrath's Mercantile. As you enter this building, you're met with this kind of curly, dark-haired man. Looks to be in his 50s. He has like a whitish black stubble for facial hair. And he looks to you all with a kind of cautiousness and says, "What can I help you with?"
We have stuff to sell.
I ain't interested.
And Val would pull out this pendant, which I think is gold. I could be wrong. It looks valuable, and he says, "You're still not interested?"
I believe I told you the value of it. I didn't write it down though.
You told me the value, but I'm not expecting to get the full value.
What was the value again?
750.
Yeah, he looks at it and says, I'll give you 10 gold for it.
Val looks at him and he's like, "This is solid gold." And you see those
5
gems?
gold for it.
Val would just look over at Alton and say, You try something."
I ain't interested in your grub. I'm only interested in selling what I have.
"And what do you have?"
Holds his hand out to the kind of shelves. You see anything in the adventuring gear section of the handbook?
Amazing, flipped right to it.
Very nice. I should do the same. What are you looking to buy?
Val would look over and he'd say, "Poison. A lot of poison." And then he'd look back at Drager and say, "But he wants armor."
He would look to the poison on the shelf and say, 1,000 gold pieces.
Val is going to look at everyone else and say, quietly, "You guys do something, or I will kill him."
Do you say this loudly?
No, I'm like whispering it, probably to Dragar and Alton.
And
Sorry,
I'm not sure if Alton is saying anything. You're on mute.
I am a very reasonable man. I can understand that perhaps your supplies are constrained, but to simply raise the price of your object by 10 times over would be to invite chaos upon you.
Can I try an intimidation?
Go ahead.
And I would fail miserably.
And what do you actually say? I want to hear what you got.
So Dragar would, look up and he'd be like, "Come on, Dragar wants you to sell stuff for a reasonable price. Don't you think this fair? Let's go."
And as you say that, and you're also, Alton, calling out to him that inflating prices is not going to help him, he says, Periwinkle! Periwinkle, get out here! And suddenly, from behind the counter, this curtain pulls away, and this 7'5" monstrosity of a man, muscles rippling that make Dragar even look tiny, walks out. He has a very simple-looking face, but he comes out to the counter and says, "Uncle, what do you need?"
That is quite the that is quite a large piece of marble that you're carved out of.
Yeah, and he is massive. And he says, "Periwinkle, I want you to meet our customers here. They seem to have a problem with our prices." To which Periwinkle replies, "Do you need, Uncle, for me to remove?" And then then Bildreth would look to you and say, "Are we going to do business, or are you here to talk about how I run mine?"
I am simply here to exchange goods. I have coin. You have goods.
Absolutely.
I would like to do standard prices, and if you do not wish to, then you can go, as they say, eat a bag of penises.
The prices are standard for my store. If you want it badly, you'll pay for it.
I don't want anything that badly. I don't even want Draga that badly. Okay? I would only pay him 9 times market rate, not 10.
Yeah, but Dragar is well worth it.
He is well worth the 9 times, Draga, but I don't know about 10 times.
So Dragar asks how much for other goods. What is this, like poison on super freaking markup today or something?
What else are you looking for?
But Dragar wants armor. What's that at?
Armor. Let me flip over to the armor. The sweet prices that he has. And as you look, what are you looking for? Maybe like a
Scale mill?
Yeah, scale mail or chain mail.
scale
You
mail.
can't use chain mill.
He would tell you that the scale mail is 500 gold pieces, which is
Dragar asks if you trade 2 poison and possibly armor for a beautiful gold necklace my wonderful friend Val has.
And
Good trade.
Val,
Good trade.
Val using, I guess, deception, even though he's trying to. I guess it would be deception just because he's trying to mark it up a bit. Says, "This is at least worth 1,000 gold. You at least should give us the scale."
Good trade.
you can give a deception. He says, the pendant for the armor. That's it.
It's your pendant, Val. You make the choice. But
Val would look over at Dragar and say, "How badly do you want the armor?"
Oh, Dragar, don't do it, darling. I will protect you with my body.
and Dragar says, maybe he throw in 4 or 5 poisons and we call
Pendant
it.
for the armor. Take it or leave it.
Come on, maybe a few poison. Come on. No, not at all.
Not at all. And you know that that's absolutely like a ludicrous deal.
Alright,
And
that's it.
Val's just gonna say, "We can probably find a better price at a better establishment."
Yeah, no, it's not. It'll not.
I could find a better price from the greediest dragon in the world, but I suppose we have to find him.
Dragar are good with no scale mail for now. Don't worry.
And
I
Val's,
would say thank you, but I don't lie.
He would just nod to you.
Dragar says, "Fuck off."
Val's just gonna turn on his heel and say, "Good day. We didn't like you anyways."
Kind of just like flips you guys off as you're leaving.
I think we were doing the exact same.
Yeah.
And after we leave, I would look to my companions. Do you want to kill him? I kind of want to kill him.
I wanted to kill him when he told me the poison was 10 times the price.
Goat lady, Gaia, are you okay if we kill him?
I think we need to kill him. He will stop himself dry with those ridiculous prices, and it's very, very, very desperate people.
But if we kill him, we can have it all for free.
Is that it would be just honest.
He may be desperate, but everyone's desperate. No one has that much gold around here.
Dragar not necessarily think we should kill. It was a self-defense. Maybe he's
He pulled a sword on us. I had to kill him. I saw him. He was reaching for it.
If I walk
He
in
didn't pull a sword, he pulled a cousin.
So, as like the bickering kind of goes on, guy just kind of goes like, "Oh, did you look at that? I think I see something over here. I'm gonna go pray for a little bit. I'll be right back." So she'll like go a distance, like around a building into an alley, aka go do your thing if you guys really want to kill him.
Val's going to say,
Look at that.
the paladin is gone. Shall we kill him?
Dragar, do you want to? I understand that you may be a noble creature, so...
Dragar tying bullets right now. If I hear screams, I'll come investigate.
Okay, do not worry. You know, Dragar, you know me, I am a bit of a screamer. Just give me a bit of a moment here.
Dragar's friend Alton has nothing to fear if I'm within earshot.
Okay, Alton will pause for a brief moment and he'll think about it. Alright, well, I know you're a bit tired from getting hurt, but don't worry, I will handle it. They will not touch me, okay?
Val smiles and says, "I'll help."
Okay, but help from behind me because if you were to die, I would be super distraught. Super.
I'll help from behind you, but only if you step in front of me again.
Oh, of course. I will always step in front of somebody, preferably Dregar. But yes. And I will walk back into the business establishment.
And I'm going to attempt to hide in his shadow as he walks in.
All right. You definitely stealth. Nonetheless, as you walk in, Periwimple, the ogreish cousin of Bildrith, is still sitting at the counter, and Bildrith looks to you and says, "Hey, I thought I told you to fuck off."
Oh yeah, I decided I wanted to fuck off. And I cast my blur.
All right, so with that, Periwimple springs to action, grabbing a. What does he grab? He has so many options he can grab. For now, he will just grab a long sword.
Oh, I'm dying! Oh no, it hurts so badly! Oh!
And his shield, so. And
Take it out of me! No, not there!
we will roll initiative, I guess. Someone.
Has he seen me? Just out of
Oh,
curiosity.
fuck no, he has not seen you.
I figured not, but it's always best to ask.
Dex, he has a 50, so.
Hold on, I'll roll it in the on my token. Just having trouble with this.
Oh yeah, I always roll terribly with initiative.
I don't know where my token is.
Bildrith like instantly starts to like duck under the counter, and he's just like, "Periwimple, get these bastards!"
You mean bastard? He could only see one.
He assumes there's more, but yeah, he can only see one. Or he's looking at Alton's many shades or figures. Alton, what did you roll? And Gaia, you're just doing your own thing, eh?
He's
We not have
praying
tokens on this
real
map somewhere?
quick.
I had to drag my token on, so.
Where's the token?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if you go
guys.
to the little book part,
I got it. I found it. Yeah, in your character note, just drag out your token.
yeah.
Alright, my character's initiative is... Click. 20.
Very nice. I got everyone in that's fighting then. No, Jagar rolled a 9 initially though, so I'm
Yeah,
bringing it down to that.
Thank you.
What about the shopkeep himself?
He does not look like he's gonna fight. He looks like he's gonna hide under the counter for now. Actually, I'll roll him in just in case he wants to defend himself and shit. He is by no means the fighter of this arrangement, though. Oh, and he has no interest in going anytime soon either.
That is okay. I'm a very forgiving kind of person.
And 4. All right, Alton, you are up first.
Yeah, would there be any way for me to get a view on the cowering coward?
Not unless you moved up more. He's basically 20 feet away from you, ducked behind a counter.
Alton, I got the
thought-
coward.
Oh no, but I really want to do a special trick. I have a very special trick for him.
You could move and see him though easily.
Yes, I will move up to the big brawny man and I will look at his fine musculature and I would say almost perhaps a bit larger than my companion, perhaps not as well sculpted. And as I walk up to him, I would look and I would see the coward hiding under his desk. Yeah.
Yes.
And I would open my hand and I would say, I will see you in hell, perhaps. Yeah. I think you should throw a dexterity saving throw, please, both of you.
All right. Periwinkle is actually pretty dexterous. We'll see if he reflects that. This is Periwinkle.
Oh, that's not going to do it.
And Bildrith cowers under the counter even further, though, as he somehow makes a save.
Okay, 14 damage to both. The guy who passes, he can take 7, though. I don't mind. As you see a gout of hot flame just burn upon his flesh. Oh,
Give me a
so
second here.
delicious.
I'm just going to pull 2 random tokens on just so I can use them for health. They're not going to look anything. That actually is pretty suitable. And sure, this guy Bildrith isn't armed, but whatever. He has that for. That's his token. And just so I have some health to subtract from. And how much damage in total again to the one who failed?
He takes 14, and the one who passes can take 7.
And what exactly did you cast?
I cast the burning hands as I erupt their bodies in hot, saucy flames.
Absolutely. And although you just absolutely scold Periwinkle, his uncle cowering under, not taking as much damage, you look at him and he looks pretty much unfazed by that. It did not seem to hurt him or injure him that much. No resistances, but just basically he has a lot of health.
Oh, that's okay. I'm a very forgiving man. Perhaps if he begs me and gives me all of his belongings, I will seek pity on him, perhaps.
And now, Val, you're up. No one sees you at this point. You see Alton just shower these guys in flames with his burning hands.
So I'm going to sneak behind the counter with no one seeing me, and then this guy the first he knows of me is he sees my smile.
When you're
And then
sneaking in, I'm going to give them at least a perception.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think either of them have a modifier, so they're not going to beat it.
So I just sneak in, and he sees my smile, and then he hears a small laugh as I just stab him through the chest with advantage, because he hasn't gone yet.
True story.
Dealing an amazing 10 damage.
All right, and you bloody Bildrith. And as the dagger kind of plunges into him, he
Isn't
tries
that
to...
a crit because he doesn't notice you and you went before him? Or am I confused? I thought you had like a crit thing for that.
I might actually have the crit. I don't remember. Thank you for reminding me.
You should like,
Yeah.
a tip for free, gentlemen, is to learn your character's abilities.
Any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit. I don't know if he's surprised, though. I mean, he could be.
Yeah, I think by definition he doesn't see you, so he would be surprised.
So that's a crit hit.
At least for this, it makes sense. Yes.
I don't think the sneak attack gets crit, though. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, it would. And I'm just going to say absolutely obliterate him since you already almost bloodied him. So you can describe what it looks like as you kill him.
So I just stab him, and the whole room just flashes with his, I stab him and then rip my sword out, so now all his blood's all over the walls, and then I look over at Periwinkle, who probably sees me now, and say, your uncle's dead. You want to meet the same fate? And just trying to intimidate him.
Very nice.
I'll roll intimidation, not that it really matters.
Oh, yeah. But everyone would notice that as you kind of splash this room full of blood, and as you pull your sword out, incidentally enough, there seems to be almost immediately no blood on your sword. As it starts to glow this eerily dim red light, the blood almost vanishes away into the hilt of the blade. Everyone would see this clean as day. As it's such a grisly mess that you made, everyone looks at your sword, and for some reason there's not a drop of blood on it, and it's just glowing this amber red at this point.
And even through this kind of cover he wears over his eyes, you can tell that there's this fire in his eyes, and he's happy at this point that he has taken out this guy with unfair prices.
And go ahead and make your intimidation on 18.
Yeah.
It is not enough to intimidate the mighty Periwinkle after you slayed his beloved uncle.
I would suggest you run very far away, because I think this creature wishes to eat you.
Yeah, is there any way to get out of his range? In this
Not without
small
provoking
area?
opportunity attack, because you just used your... Or did you use your bonus action? I
Nope.
would
No.
say to intimidate, you probably would have.
Probably.
Since it normally would have been an action, and you already
Yeah.
action attacked. So yeah, you ain't getting anywhere, unless you want to provoke an opportunity attack.
No, Val will stand his ground, knowing he's going down again.
And Dragar, you're outside, but you hear a commotion going on.
Oh, it hurts! It hurts! Help me, Dragar!
Dragar would walk saunteringly into the store and look around as he sees blood everywhere, and his friend Val standing up to this. Because Val's only about, what, 3'8" or something, you said?
I
So-
think I said 4'8", but
Perfect, that's even better. 4'8" versus the 7.5-foot giant, and Dragar's like, hey,
4'7".
buddy.
He was trying
And,
to steal our lunch money.
Dragar walks right over and he's like, you attack my friends? And he just picks up his warhammer and he smashes him on the head. And that was a 1. Not 1. So,
Oh yeah. So go ahead and make a dex save.
well, that's not fun. Oh, 3.
Oh yeah. That's really good. So as you go to smash him on the head, he quickly, in a fierce rage, grabs onto your arm, kind of pinning it down with the longsword that he has, and then he shield bashes you right in the face, knocking you prone. And you take 8 damage.
Okay.
You still have some movement left, though, so technically
good.
you could still get back up and not get obliterated.
I would suggest raging if you're not angry yet, because I'd be pretty angry.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
very mad that he probably broke your nose with that shield bash.
Oh yeah. As I slowly get up, you see my tattoos start to glow their faint yellow, and the blood rushes to my body, and I am ready to go. But it's not my turn now, so.
Absolutely. So as Periwinkle sees you just slaughter his uncle, he cries out, "Uncle, no! I will crush your puny skull, you foul piece of shit!" And he is going to start striking you with his longsword, just strike after strike. Immense power, Val. I'm sorry, but you're the one that dealt the... I'm not even trying, I feel like a dick, but you killed the uncle. So you get 1 strike for a hit. That's a miss, and then he's going to shield bash you. Oh.
I think you were unconscious again, Noor.
of course he crits. If he didn't crit, it wouldn't be a battle.
How do you want to describe knocking out our companion again?
Yeah. You
Well-
want Val to explain it? No, just kidding.
Do some damage first and see.
If the
you're
damage
even
is enough, I'll
alive.
explain
He
it.
has 11 health, so it's going to be enough.
It is
But-
very much going to be enough to knock you unconscious. You might even die.
Uh-oh.
So, good luck.
That's, I do believe, let's see. Is
Well,
that all the damage?
they
Or
have they're separate attacks.
That's everything all said and done. Separate attacks. First attack is 2d8 plus 4, and then the second attack is a crit. 8 damage flat plus 2d4 plus 8. He's
More than enough.
yeah, he's centering all these attacks on you. Unfortunately, though, as he's just like bashing you into smithereens as
I
you
do believe I am obliterated.
outright obliterated.
I do believe so, because
Yeah.
insta-kill is
Or
my negative health, right?
What's your health?
My max health is 15, and I was only at
way
11.
more. That's way more than enough.
Yeah, I'm
You needed-
dead.
You only needed 26, so that's
I am-
kind of overkill.
Sorry, but I'll at least give you the honor of describing what it looks like if you want, or I can do it.
So, Val, knowing he was probably going to go down, smiles and just was laughing at him. And he says, "You may kill me, but my spirit will live on." And he just, the first blow, he just ducks out of the way, making the guy mad. So he just brings his sword down and cuts Val basically in half, and then with his shield literally turns him into a pulp.
Yep. He's just like bashing your head over and over again, saying, "You killed Uncle," and he's just like, till there's nothing left. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry.
Gaia after she's been praying.
Yeah, Guy's been praying, and she feels a disturbance in the forest for sure.
Well, like here's the idea. Like I'm just gonna go over here and pray, just kind of like totally clear my mind a little bit. Like they're not gonna do anything bad.
Anyways,
Okay.
that ends. You can roll initiative to jump in. Actually, you do an insight to see if you sense something's wrong.
Sure thing. That would be just 12.
Yeah, that's enough to sense that your friends have been taking a little bit too long. Bildrath, you killed him. How much damage did you do again to him?
Me?
We won't worry about that anyways. He's pretty much out for now. Alton, you are up, and you see a mess in place of where Val should be. And this guy is just like not even ceasing. He's still just beating Val's pulp into a further puree at this point.
And Alton would say, "Oh, you're a bit more audacious than I am. I would never go that quickly to kill him." And Alton will just cut into this guy's back. Let's see how much he can bleed.
Okay.
Let's see how much blood he has. He looks like he has a lot. He's looking like a bit of an ogre. And a 17 and a 19 to hit.
He parries the 17, which does that only give him block on one? Yes. So the second one is also a miss though. So he parries the first one, and then with the long sword slays away the other one, and both attacks are a miss. This guy.
That is a bit terrifying.
Yeah, this guy, if you haven't guessed it yet, is a beast. And
I am okay. I am not scared of him. He is a coward.
okay. Anyways, Dragar is now up.
He parried my attack, Dragar. I left him open for you.
Okay, so
And you rolled the 14, Gaia, sorry. You will jump in next round. And go ahead, Dragar. Sorry to cut you off.
Drager he's up now. He's starting to brightly rage. He was watching this monster just kind of beat Val to a massive pool of bloody orange juice. Extra pulp.
Orange
And
juice.
he's just crushing it. And so I rage and I do a reckless attack and I just try to hammer this son of a gun.
Are you just giving him an excuse to crit you to death?
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. He had more than 15 health, so he might live.
I attack with a 24 and I get 12 damage.
12 damage. You warhammer him square in the back, and this blow is forceful enough that you would assume that it would snap an average person's spine in half, but you literally just hit it, and it's almost kind of like that feeling when you baseball bat a metal pole or something, and your arm just rings off of this guy's back. As you obviously do the damage, but he is still incredibly in good shape.
If I'm not mistaken, reckless attack means he has advantage on you next turn, right?
Sure does. And he's up. And as he does that, he turns around to you, Dragar, and says,
Or does he?
"Stupid tiny man, I crush you too." And he's probably going to. So first attack, longsword, slicing into Dragar, hit. Second attack, hit.
Oh my god, those rolls.
Third attack,
I think we just activated a TPK.
I literally think you might have actually. Alright, let's do some damage.
What? There's more rolls?
Oh, this is
No.
just the damage now.
It's okay. You only take half of this.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Not only that, but that was... He didn't even have to go and roll the advantage part.
And you gotta make a strength save to see if you can get knocked prone.
You're raging, so you have advantage. Oh my god.
Don't think that's a save. Let me look.
Oh no. Does this guy have
DC,
stats? That's
DC,
ridiculous.
yeah, he has stats.
Oh no.
DC 15, you're knocked prone and you take Dragar.
No, he's not knocked prone. He had advantage because he's raging.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he just made it actually. 15 was his save. So yeah, he made it. But you take 27 damage of.
13.
Yeah.
I'm still standing, but I'm bloody as hell.
Alton and then Gaia will finally be able to make her way into the buildings. But what has Alton got?
Alton would see his beloved crushed into pieces already. He would say, "Oh no, dearest companion, you cannot die right now. I must protect you." And I will attack this disgusting behemoth of a mane, and I will make sure that he falls in combat. 17 and a 22 to hit.
Both are hits, I believe. Let me tell you what your target. Target is. Actually, he can parry you again, so he can boost it up to 16, 17, 18, 19. 19, so the first one misses, but the second one gets through.
Alright, for my second hit, I will obviously hit him for the 5 damage.
Alright.
And I will kind of look over to him and I will smile and I will say, "Oh, you cannot dodge these attacks, they're too powerful for you."
And Gaia, you burst in the door hearing just some obscene stuff going on, and you are met with a terribly bloody room. Bildrith slain behind the counter, you see like a leg dangling out, and then you just see a pool of blood, and you're looking around, you see Alton, you see Dragar.
In the center of
You
the
know-
pool of the blood, you probably see Val's sword sticking up.
Yes, and it's actually just kind of laying in the pool of blood, and you notice that it's actually sucking up Val's blood, almost like a fucking sponge or something. It's just like taking in amounts of blood. And what do you do, Gaia?
What the hell? Like, oh my god. She has like stand out for a moment just because she's just like, oh lordy. Okay, man. This is way worse than I imagined. This was stupid. I should have said more. Yes, it's my fault. I am terribly sorry. Oh, okay. Please forgive me. And turns back around. And just pulls out her sword like. So I set up these people. They make stupid choice, but you obviously either you stop fighting us and I take them and chastise them on my own, or I have to stab you. So.
Is that a persuasion I hear?
Yes, totally. Charisma check, please work.
It's at disadvantage since his uncle is the only person that's ever taken care of him has been slain.
If she's within 5 feet of me, she gets advantage. Oh,
I'll take that 12.
Well, that's not an attack. Nah,
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take him.
Can I give her my inspiration?
He looks at you and says, "I will make a taxidermy statue out of you, you stupid fawn."
She just got size. Like,
Hey, he knows what you are.
Yes, he knows that you are a goat. Fantastic.
I feel like 20 and a 8. I'm pretty sure the 8 does not hit, but will the 20 get through? Whatever.
Yes, the 20 does get through.
Oh, you're lucky. My god is mad at me right now, so as you'd be lit with lightning. AKA, she is totally out of spell slots.
And what's the damage?
6.
6?
Points of piercing damage.
Oh yeah. So this guy is looking pretty good still in every way, shape imaginable. Like he basically, as you look at him and you guys have all been striking at him, maybe has like a couple scuffs on him. There's a couple scratches. Dragar, you're now up.
Dragar, flee! Run away, Dragar!
You're prone right now. Or no, you're saved.
Dragar.
You're saved. Sorry.
Yeah, it just says Dragar with a series of wild jazz hands disengages from the monster.
Run around the corner and hide. Never show your face again.
Turns around and slowly but surely walks away, still doing jazz hands as he's bleeding profusely out of his face.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So yeah, you were able to just full-on sprint out of the store. That's your turn. You can use your dash action to get super far away.
Oh my god, yeah.
He's up next, and now that Dragar is gone, he turns to you, Alton.
Oh, darling, you cannot touch this. I am untouchable.
He seeks to bring out his fury upon you.
Perhaps you should make a macro for disadvantage. For this is going to be a lot of dice you have to throw.
Yeah, I got it.
That's a miss.
That's the first one. This is the second one.
That's a miss. That is a miss.
There you
All
go.
three of them are misses.
All right.
Go, Alton.
Alton, you are now up. Dragar is just like turned tail, like you've never seen him move before. You didn't know Dragar can move that fast.
I will have to say to you, sir, that I do not appreciate your presence, and I will go speak to the mayor, and he will get you removed from the city for your utter violence and brutality. And I will run out of here. He can take his opportunity attack if he wishes.
He sure does.
Right? You'll have disadvantage. I don't give a shit. His dice will betray him.
Grab Val's sword on the way out.
Can I do that? I suppose he's right next to me. His body is crushed on the ground.
There is no body. There's pulp.
Can I pick up the sword with from the pulp as my interaction?
Yeah, you can do it as an interaction.
Alright, I will pick up the sword out of the pulp, and I will move 60 feet out. I will run around the corner, and all you will hear is a as I escape, and I run into the town, and I look for a building to hide behind, and hope that he cannot find me, as I cover my mouth to stop the screaming.
All right, Gaia, as you kind of walked in, you seek to defend your friends, and as soon as you hit this guy, they immediately took that as a distraction to turn tail on you. Now it's just you and Periwinkle standing in this room.
Do not worry, Drew.
I'm not really sad.
I drew away his opportunity attack. It's a safe conclusion. I could defeat him in single combat. It would just take an hour. Do not worry.
Yeah, no guy just kind of like poke footsteps as these people.
I would run.
She's just like kind of like just stuck. Like she can't really like look at them with that like aghast face of like, what are you doing? It's just she's kind of looking down. No, what's his name? Crumple, and just like kind of that like sweat drop for me. She's just looking in this guy, it's this raging guy's eyes, just like fudge, like. You just left me, yeah, me and you. Okay, I get it, Taylor, I get it. Kayla just kind of straighten herself up, keep the shoulders, and be like, oh, she all the best? And she's going to just kind of try and I don't want that.
Run as fast as you can, please.
Oh yeah, she's literally going to hightail it as soon as she gets out that door. After she fully disengages. Well, actually, she doesn't have to. See, I saw you use your arm. Your AoE, AO.
And basically, as you guys are like running out, you are met by Ishmark and Arena, and they're looking at you, just like turning tail and bloodied, and like just in pure fear. They see in your eyes. They're like, "What the hell is going on?" And then
it was Strahd. It was Strahd. We must escape now.
Suddenly, Periwinkle. Go ahead.
It was Strahd himself. He has taken the form of a giant. We must escape now. I have deception that I don't care. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You can deception it if you want.
I will deception it immediately.
You're gonna need like nothing short of a crit.
Oh, it is going to be a crit. Don't worry about it. Alton has a silver tongue.
If only because he's a drow and his tongue would be silver.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so they're like, they believe you, and then suddenly Periwimple comes out of the door.
Smashes the
Like-
door down.
Yeah, he smashes actually through the door, and he's like, "Get back here, you fuckers!" And then they're like, "What have you done to Periwimple?" And they look to you guys like really quickly,
He killed my friend. Well, he
And then-
wasn't my friend, but he killed him.
and then they're just like, "We have to run. This guy will kill us all if he's in a rage." And then they just start booking it out of town before you guys can like, while you're running one way, they just like start running out of town also, as they apparently know that the wrath of Periwimple is nothing to be laughed at.
Is Periwimple chasing us?
Are you following Arena and Ishmark as they run out of town?
I'm slowly doing circles with jazz hands.
You're slowly doing circles.
So basically, like, if he doesn't look at me, I'm gonna sneak back in the store and steal a bunch of shit.
Oh yeah, he's like,
Yeah, Alton would be screaming, "Come at me, you fucking coward! You cannot touch me. I'm untouchable."
Gaia is just booking it with this. It's like, I tried helping it. You guys just ditch. I'm with these two. I am going to make sure they get to their destination in safety. Like, you guys, I have some serious repenting to do, and gosh, I'm an idiot. Why did I not stay? She's mad.
he will definitely chase you guys if you even remotely try to not run.
Okay.
Alton will attempt to make him chase him away from the store, so that his dearest companion can collect his scale armor.
I don't really need scale armor.
I really love the jazz hands. Like, oh goodness, I really want to just draw this whole scene where it's just like running shit, and jazz hands. Like,
I'm gonna give you a little DM tip here and say that you guys all run out of town,
Yeah, we're doing that.
tucked behind your legs in shame that you tried to be murder homos and.
You know, I'm not normally a murder hobo, but he was not being very reasonable.
And with that, you guys make it to the outskirts of town. You look back for fear that Periwimple, this mighty warrior, simple-minded as he is, still fierce, is no longer behind you, out of breath. Ishmark is just like pissed and just like, "You fools! Why would you incur the wrath of that beast-like man?
He would not negotiate fairly. He was attempting to rob us.
You understand why he would not negotiate fairly now? He has that creature in his back pocket."
Well, he doesn't have one now, so that is okay. But
He's just like, "Idiots."
why doesn't he just kill Strahd, and then the world will be safe?
But with that, we'll end with you guys fleeing tail from Barovia in a very unseen way.
Will there be an opportunity for a short rest during this, now that we're on the outskirts of town?
I hope so. I'm down pretty good.
we will discuss that in next session as we'll end here.
Okay.
All right. So anyone who was watching, thanks for hanging out and watching these murder homos get instant karma.
If it makes you feel better, he died first, okay?
Till next time.